I want to bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son, that poor son, that
son of a bitch.
Man, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but whatever.
Well, hey, isn't it Enter New England this weekend? Is that going on? Have you heard anything?
It is. Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, you were there?
I've been there a couple times. Yeah. Because
shit.
yeah, Kazee Munchie, those guys have been there, and I haven't been there like the whole time. I've been there a few hours each day, a little bit.
I mean, that's pretty good. And how much time are you really going to spend there? That's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're there dawn to dusk, which is fine. I don't know. I couldn't be entertained for that long. About 6 hours a day has been my limit. I did it in the evening on Friday and Saturday, and then I went in the morning on then I went in the morning on Saturday because I wanted to go to a thing called like a pin trade thing because I had all my Endless War slime pins, and I was like, I've got capital to trade. So I showed up and I arrayed all the RFCK pins on a table, and I sat down like a little merchant doing business. It sort of worked. I got a couple of good trades, although it seemed like, I guess I didn't realize this was a thing. Some people that I asked were like, I'm only looking for Fursona trades. I want to trade my Fursona for someone else's Fursona.
Yeah,
I don't know
what I guess in hindsight kind of makes sense, but I wouldn't have expected that either.
I didn't know that it's a thing to get your Sona as an enamel pin, but like now that I think about it, like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess now you know how easy it is to get pins made, which maybe before seemed daunting.
It's really not that hard, and I asked some people, and there are some enterprising furries who will handle it for you if you're a Sona'd individual and you want to branch into that sort of thing. There are people in the community that are connected and know how to do it.
If you find yourself besona'd, then you may be able to.
Yeah. Kazee drew me a. You know what? I will. I want to show you the tag they drew for me. They drew me one of those.
Oh, you like a badge?
Yeah, a little badge.
Yeah, that's classic furry con tradition. You got to have your cool artist friend draw you a badge to hang next to your con badge.
It's funny. Everybody's got them.
Everyone's got them. Absolutely.
Like literally everybody has a laminated little. Because you got your your ticket or whatever, your actual badge that you paid for, that you got to show to get into the dealer's den, or what have you. But that's bullshit.
Right, nobody cares. They want to see your character badge. They want to know who you are, right? Because obviously you're not what you look like.
No.
at the FurCon.
Precisely.
And even so, like 10 years ago, when I was going to cons more often, I did have a friend who drew me a badge, and it was great, and I've still got it. Got a little Krak badge.
I guess I went to Enter New England. What is it? 2 years ago now? 3 years ago, I had kidney stones.
Yeah,
right.
That was
3 years ago. You went for like one day, and on your way back, you were there on one day, and then on your way home, you stopped at my house.
Yeah.
You were like, stay hydrated, buddy. And you brought me like Gatorade or something.
I think I filled a Arizona jug with water for you or something.
Yeah.
I just carried you a jug of water. Don't die, buddy.
Wow, that was 3 years ago. Ugh. Jesus Christ. And I've dodged that medical debt ever since.
Yeah, that all worked out, right? Like you pretty much just didn't have to pay it.
They just stopped. They told me we're sending it to collections, and then I just never heard another word from them. And I'm pretty sure based on some information that I dug up later. I'm pretty sure that something called like a charity care clause kicked in, wherein I was at the time too poor, and they were not allowed not to treat me, and therefore they couldn't demand repayment.
Yeah, they as try as they might.
Try as they might. The law just was not on their side.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. Yeah, so then I think it was the next year. I didn't buy a ticket. I just walked in one day. I just walked in, and then I walked into the dance contest, the fursuit dance contest. It just in the middle of it, and nobody checked my badge, and I just got in.
Man, those are, I don't know how they are these days, you know, Corona times at this con, but usually those are pretty good.
When I went 2 years ago, it was fun. I did enjoy it. But then this year I was gonna go to that same thing yesterday, but I had gotten there in the morning to do the pin trading thing, and that was gonna be at like 6 p.m. and it was like 4:30, and we were like, well, we got nothing to do. We just kind of gotta wait for the dance contest, and that's going to be an hour and a half, and then the dance contest is going to be 2 hours long.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I can't do it.
Listen, guys, it's about my bedtime, and
yeah. Well, it was about my bedtime, except but you saw, because you're in my patron Discord, so you saw I made good use of that time. Yesterday, I went home instead of going to some degenerate fursuit dance contest. I went home and I cranked out the last 5 panels before Phantom's Revenge.
Oh, and they're beautiful. Punishment. They're fucking gorgeous.
I'm happy with them.
It's so good.
They came out really good. Okay, here's a little bit of my dysfunctional workflow. I got home from... Hold on. Wait. Actually, I found the picture. I'm going to post it.
Yeah, post that before we get too far away from it.
I'm going to post the picture because it's cool. And I like it. It's not the best quality photograph. But this is my tag.
Oh, yeah.
It's good, right? It's great.
Oh, it's exactly what you need. That's fucking beautiful.
I know. Kazee made one for everyone, and they even confided in me that they thought mine came out the best, and I agree.
Yeah, I don't have the other ones for reference, but I can't imagine how much better they could be.
Oh, they're fine and all. They're okay.
I'm sure they roughly communicate the idea, but this one...
I love this. Oh, right. So it was like 5 or so, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm out. And so I came home, and I was home by like 6, and I sat down, and I was like, all right, time to do some work. And then around about like midnight, 1 a.m., I kind of start and stop and do a little bit, and then I get the first of those 5 panels done that I had already done, had half finished. I get that done around 1 a.m. And then from like 1 a.m. to like 4 a.m., I like crank out the other 4. They take me like half an hour apiece.
Nice.
and they all come out really good. I'm just like, man, I'm just slapping colors down, just making them work.
The subtle little black outline on the green letters is so good.
That's
I wish you were doing that sort of thing the whole time, because it makes it so much more readable and it looks so much better.
Hold on, the subtle little. Let me go over and look at.
You're on the. There's one panel where it says "bang bang," and you've got this little black outline on the green letters.
Oh yeah, well, I do that sometimes. On I do that sometimes for like onomatopoeia sounds, just for legibility. If they had not, just because like those green letters kind of on like the green. They're sort of adjacent to the green grass, and like the light green on the white door background. It was just not legible without a.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a
black
huge
outline.
improvement, and I don't know. I just wish you'd do that all the time, but it would probably take forever. Right? It's like I don't know how you're doing it if you got to like line around all the other lines.
It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't take forever. I just don't bother unless I think like, I don't know, because like two panels before that, I have Phantom touching the tree and he goes tap tap, and I didn't give those a little sound effect, but those are just little bitch sounds. Those are just little tiny noises. They're not.
You can barely hear those.
They're not dramatic. This bang bang is supposed to be like a reverberating bang bang, because the game starts. The game starts with two bangs and a boom.
Absolutely.
These are the last two panels before Phantom's Revenge, and the first thing you hear when you hit play in the Phantom's Revenge menu screen is you hear as he bangs twice on the door, and then he explodes the door. Spoilers for the very first instant,
first second of the game.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that said, is it coming soon? Is it coming out?
Yeah. I've got to, these ones that I posted yesterday, I have finished. It took me 42 panels, which was a little more than I expected. I expected maybe 30 something. It took me 42 panels to get it up to the game. Post game, I think, definitely, I'm going to say 12. I'm going to estimate 12, and it'll probably end up being more than I think. It'll be 12, maybe 16 panels.
Another comic after the game still needs to be
after
drawn.
the game, there's a little post. There's like, after the game, you got to see what happens right after. And then after that, I have to think of like, okay, and then what are the actual like last pages of the comic? Like what does like the end look like? And I don't know what that is yet. I have no idea.
So do you think by the time people are hearing this, is the game going to be generally available, or is it going to be another week? Sorry to ask you the tough questions.
I'm gonna guess it could be out by the time this is out, but I'm gonna guess probably not. I'm gonna say probably maybe more likely the week after, which. Oh God, that's gonna push it into next month.
Yeah, it's gonna be March.
No, Gibb's gonna beat me. Gibb's secret project is gonna come out before mine.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't realize how far along that was, but I don't know anything specifically about it, but I heard from some patrons of Gib that it's real cool. So I'm excited.
Did you not hear any? You didn't hear any specifics?
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it.
Really? I know what it is.
Oh, must
and
be nice.
I won't get into specifics either. But it is real cool. And I am really excited. I am genuinely not even in like a happy for you sort of way. Cuz I don't care about other people. I'm excited.
Well documented facts.
I'm excited in like a it's a cool thing. It's a cool project, and I'm excited just to see like what people will say about it and what the reaction will be. It's not as good as Phantom's Revenge, obviously, but
of course not.
But it's good. I want to see what people have to say about it. I think it looks great. I've seen a little bit. I haven't seen that. I know what it is. I haven't seen much of it, but I've seen enough to get the gist. Yeah, good stuff. She's gonna beat me though. I'm thinking
probably.
She
probably will.
If I worked at the pace that I was working, not all last night, but just between the hours of midnight and like 5 a.m. last night, then I could get it done in a week. But historically, I can't maintain that sort of frenetic activity.
Yeah, if you need to do more than a page a day, I think it's safe to assume it's not going to happen, on average.
Some days I can crank out like 8 pages, but it depends what the pages are. Like
Yep.
Kind of the reason, like you've been seeing my other, you've been seeing my uploads because you're in that channel, the Patreon channel. So you know that like.
Yeah, shout out patreon.com/Ben saying give him $5 you can get in the channel.
Please. Yeah. So you know that like the 8 pages before that took me like 2 weeks because I don't know, they were just I had a very particular idea for what they ought to be, and I had to make them meticulously match. It's not even that they're like more complicated. It's just that my mental image for them was very specific. And I was like, I know exactly what they need to look like, and I need to make them look like that. Whereas these ones that I did yesterday, I was like, I basically know what they're going to look like. And like, as long as they generally get the idea across, whatever. And I just kind of started throwing lines down, and I just like, tappa with my stylus for like 45 minutes, and then like whatever was there at the end of that, I was like, yeah, that works. Okay, next, good, go.
Yeah. Because the scene is like it's like in the woods, right? And it's not that particular, so it's sort of it lets you do kind of whatever.
So it was just kind of like I know it's going to be sort of in like the kind of dark looking woods, so I'll just start throwing down some woodsy looking details. Well, that was the first page. The first page where I drew the whole background took me. I did that like half yesterday, and then half 2 days ago, and half yesterday. And you know what? I'll just would it be a spoiler to post it? I'll show it. I'll show it as a treat. It's not that spoilery.
It's not that bad.
It's not that spoilery.
People know Phantom Horn's coming for his revenge, so
he's coming for his revenge.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
Yeah, so this scene with the tree, it took me a little bit to get the background right. It took me 2 days. And then in the one after it, I just used the exact same background again, but I just kind of like reversed it and like zoomed in on one part of it and kind of like changed the brightness, contrast, balance, just so it.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even notice that it's exactly the same, and you wouldn't, right? Like it's like it's fine. That's totally fine.
I do that all the time. I'll just take a background that I used before and be like, well, if I flip it and I like just change the color balance a little bit, like you'd never know. You would never know that it's just the exact same.
Such a good
image.
trick to get that fake depth of field, to just like, well, I'm just gonna adjust the color a little bit. You know, if it's desaturated a little, people know, oh, that's the background. And it works. Yeah. It works great. It looks deep.
Exactly. And then it's like, okay, well, do I want to? In this one, I think I made it. I desaturated it to make Phantom pop a little bit in the front, and then you can make it lighter. You can make it lighter, or you can make it darker if you want. Do you want the character to be like a dark silhouette, or do you want him to be sort of a point of light, focal point in like a dark area? You can do whatever. You can do however you want to do it.
I mean, that's just a theory, though. You know, a color theory.
It's never been tested.
Never been tested. Never been proven.
Yeah. As we were saying, I don't know why I put the Yig tree there. I get like
it looks fine. It looks like it fits.
It does. I think it's okay because if you didn't know what it was, it's like whatever. It's just a weird looking tree, and it's totally reasonable for a weird looking tree to be there.
Yeah, wouldn't you expect the thing that you're looking for to be in kind of a weird looking, maybe artificial tree?
Yes.
So
yes,
makes sense.
In the context of what this is and like what place this is and why that tree is there, I'm trying to think if you do know what the Yig tree is, like what is the thematic connection, like what is being said. See, because great artists don't think about these things beforehand. They just throw shit together, and then other people come up with what it means.
You hang up those blue drapes, and it's up to the audience to
infer
to the
that
reader
it means
to
I'm
understand.
Depressed. Exactly. So it means that
Well, I
This
mean, obviously it
place
means
is,
that this is a place of villains.
This is.
Right?
I think that's where my mind goes. This is a place of villains. There's a villainous connection. This is a place. This is not a place of honor. Nothing esteemed. Nothing esteemed
no
is
esteemed deed is
no great
memorialized here.
deed is esteemed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this tree says to
But
me.
it also, I mean,
Whenever I see it.
obviously it's a Y, but it also kind of looks like a V, and it could be V for very bad things here, or it could be V for pointing down because down right here is the thing you're looking for. You know, there's a lot of.
Well, I won't show it, but yeah, the V pointing down, that's true. And then also around the back, the roots form a GG. And since this is a lead into the game, it's wishing you a good game when you step through the precipice.
Yeah.
The thresholds. It just works on so many levels.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's incredible. Very good.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
It all comes together. This is the real artistry is not in throwing all this shit together. It's in sitting around and theorizing afterwards about how many layers of genius inference can I retroactively read into this juxtaposition of elements. That's the real artistry right there.
Absolutely true. All great art really is the summation of the references it can make.
All great art is made after the fact when you sit around trying to justify what it was you did.
Yeah.
You come up with excuses for it later.
Absolutely the case.
And that's what I'm going to be doing with Slime and Punishment for the rest of my life. Hey, Ben, why did you spend 2 years drawing like a Sonichu fan comic? Well... Well, it just seemed funny at the time, I guess. And you know what? It was. So that's... I'm trying to think if I did anything else this week. Not really. I've been working on these... I was working on these, not specifically these panels, but I was working on Slime and Punishment all week, and then this weekend, Anthro New England has been taking up a little bit of my time. And that's pretty much what I've been doing lately. What about you?
Man, well, first I want to plug very cool commission piece that I got. I think you saw it already, but I'm gonna post it. By Liz, aka Monochromatics on Twitter.
I did see this, and I enjoyed looking around at the fine details.
I can't believe the amount of work they put into the PDP-12 here in this picture.
Is that the machine?
Yeah, this computer. It's a digital computer, Digital Equipment Corporation. So the old Massachusetts computer company, mainframes and mini computers. Yeah,
punch cards.
Yeah, it's got that. It's got it all. We got magnetic tape, reel to reel. We've got punch tape, like big strips of tape reader. It's also got, I don't know if you can see in the bottom right there, those are giant 14-inch removable hard disks.
The big round
things, and you would slot those into those giant drives above it, like big flash drives. Jesus Christ! Each holding a whopping 2 megabytes or something, like real 70s technology.
I was reflecting the other day on how darn I'm old enough that I actually used floppy disks. I think at this point that's a real relic. That's like my parents being like, yeah, we used 8 tracks, Lamau.
Yeah. Man, now 8-track is a terrible format.
I'm not sure I've ever even seen an 8-track. I don't know what it is.
They're awful. So the thing about 8-track, not to get too diverted here, but with compact cassette, your regular cassettes, it's just, it goes from beginning to end, and you can go forward or reverse, you can flip it over, right? It's 2-sided.
Mm-hmm.
None of that with the 8-track. The 8-track is a continuous loop of tape, and you can only go in one direction.
So you can only play forward, and you just have to loop it all the way through.
Yes!
Wow.
You have to loop it all the way through. And they call it 8-track because it's 8 stereo tracks. So there's 4 songs that are like simultaneously encoded, left and right channels.
And you just
so you can pick which one you're listening to at any given time. But it's just in that part of the tape. You know what I mean?
That's weird. Okay, I did not know that.
Format.
I did not know that about those. That's fucked.
Yeah, so what it would usually be a lot of the times, like track 1 would be one song followed by another song, and then track 2, simultaneous to track 1, is one song followed by another song.
So you can get 8. Well, you can get 16 songs because each track is 2 songs.
No, so it's an 8-track, but there's actually 4 tracks that you can listen to because they're stereo.
Yeah,
you could probably get 8 songs on there. I mean, they could put however much tape could fit inside the big cartridge. But it's a terrible format. It fucking
amazing,
sucks.
Amazing.
You know,
no, I never seen it.
You think a compact cassette, like cassettes, like they're kind of bad, but they're so much better than 8-tracks. It's like
I did when I was like a little kid. Or I think when I was a little kid, I did have cassettes. I had like fucking baby. When I was like a little baby, you know, I had the fucking little music cassettes on a little cassette player. I think by the time I was like actually listening to music, cassettes were already obsolete.
Yeah, same. Like I definitely have, I've got a small collection of cassettes and stuff, and I listened to them when I was a kid a little bit. But I definitely mostly had CDs, and then really mostly just downloaded music.
Yeah, but at the time I was in like high school. MP3 players and like LimeWire, and I kind of missed I missed Napster, but like Kazaa and LimeWire, and it was like just get a fucking MP3 player, dog. I had a small CD collection. I bought a bunch of CDs of bands that my friends liked so that I would feel worthy of their love.
Yeah, of course. You need these totems so that they can see the signals, right? They can understand that you're part of the tribe.
These shibboleths. I needed my God smack and my Incubus and my cradle of filth. Incubus still a great band. I still love Incubus. No, do you? Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They got a couple of songs that are fine. I'm not well versed in their ooze.
I was never well versed. I like, a couple of their hits. I think the hits hold up. Yeah. What else do I have? I don't know.
God, speaking of this era.
Obviously I had Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park.
Oh,
obviously.
Of course. Certified banger. I was just listening to Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless. I love that album. I still love that album front to back. It's great. The first half of the album is just banger after banger after banger. I'd recommend it. You should listen to it right now. Not right now, but after this.
Right now. Let's go. Eleazar,
cut that in. Could you cut in the entire album?
I was gonna say cut out the next 45 minutes.
No, the people need to hear this.
I'm gonna go give it a listen. Okay, all right. Yeah. I should listen to more. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it again. I should listen to more music because one thing that I historically know for a fact improves my creativity or improves my productivity is when I'm listening to music and I get in the zone with it. I can just a drawing. When I'm listening to podcasts or YouTube videos, they are not. I do not get in the zone. They distract me. I can draw in spite of them. I can just kind of ignore it. Sometimes I can draw and just kind of let them wash over me. But music is more likely to do that. So
Yeah,
I
for
should
sure.
I should listen to more music. Yeah, I should. If I spent more time listening to music, I would probably be a more effective person, I think.
Yeah, and it would also sort of open your mind to new things you haven't thought about. You'll hear some new sounds, and maybe that'll be reflected in your art. So it's always good.
Possibly. Could happen, I guess. I have a very limited sonic palette. It's kind of cringe to say, but it's true.
It is true. I didn't want to call you out for it, but it's definitely true.
It's true. It's true. It's just finding music is hard.
Yeah,
finding music is hard, and I have historically often been like, why bother?
It's hard, and
listen
the problem
just listen to the old favorites, and music's not that good.
The problem is making music is hard too. So like my favorite band, Sad Baxter, have just fallen off the face of the planet. They're not doing anything right now. It's been years. It's like, come on, guys. Let's get together and do another EP, right? What's it gonna take?
Yeah, I guess that's. I was gonna say most bands, but I guess that's the fate of every band eventually. Is to.
It's always a limited time thing.
Yeah. Unless you're like, I don't know, some boomer '80s.
Unless
band.
You're Iron Maiden.
Unless
At which
you're
point
Iron
you're just
Maiden,
going to keep making another album every year for the foreseeable future until Bruce Dickinson and Steve Harris die. It's like...
Or failing that, you just you eventually just have a reunion tour that lasts the rest of your lives because you're never going to do anything. You're never gonna. Lightning's not gonna strike twice.
Yeah,
you're not gonna have a second
Stones
hit.
model, right? Is they just keep touring.
Yeah,
it's like they're not going to write another. There's not going to be another. I don't know, Sticky Fingers or whatever. I can't even think of Rolling Stone albums, but I'm sure some were good. That's sort of before our time, even.
Yeah, I've never listened to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's like my mom likes that.
Yeah. Rolling Stone magazine. Yeah, I consider Rolling Stones to be. I would consider them more brethren to the Beatles.
Yeah, same time period, for sure.
Yeah, okay. When I was a kid, people were listening. My friends were listening to Black Sabbath, but even that was classic. That was fairly old even at the time.
Sure. That's
by
it
our
was
standards.
Studying Mozart, for example. you listen to the Sabbath to get the context for the genre.
the appreciating the great masters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was. I definitely had a classic rock phase. I think everybody has to if you're growing up at that time.
Yeah.
But none of it really stuck with me. I'm not that big a fan, except for I always loved AC/DC. I think they're still pretty good.
One time, I asked, my friends were going to Ozfest, and I wanted to go to Ozfest, and I asked my dad if I could go to Ozfest, and he made fun of me for it.
Yeah, I would too.
But he made fun of me in a way that he kind of, I think it circled back around in him because the way that he made fun of me is he started singing what he thought was an Ozzy song at me, but it was he started singing "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap" at me.
the classic Osbourne banger.
So he hoisted his own petard on that one.
That's really funny.
Yeah, and I didn't know, I wasn't that familiar, so I didn't know at the time that that's not an Ozzy song, so I couldn't call him out.
It is an Aussie song, to be clear. Pretty close.
I'm trying to think if maybe was what he was thinking, but no.
No, I'm sure it's just a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
God, and speaking of this, bands just coming and going. The Chats down in Australia were doing sort of a modern punk take on what AC/DC was. And the moment they taste a little bit of success, they had this big hit with Smoko. They did one with a Dine and Dash song I can't think of the name of off the top of my head. The moment they taste that success, they fire their cool alcoholic fat guitarist. They bring in some other guy, and the band's ruined. You need the alcoholic fat guitarist. We need Pricey back. I'm begging the chats, bring back Mr. Price.
I'm bringing Pricey back. You need, I don't know. You need something. You need someone someone's got to bring the sauce. Who are you talking about? Who is this person?
Do you know the chats? I'll post one of their songs. It's Dine and Dash.
Chats like the cat, like cats, like French.
No, it's I thought that initially too the very first time I saw him, but I guess it's Aussie slang for like bad food or vomit.
The chats.
Yeah. Huh. So if you go to a crappy restaurant, they might give you chat. The food might be chatty.
Okay. Whatever you say.
But this is great too. I don't know if you ever saw that old clip of the guy who was a famous Dine and Dasher, right? He's getting arrested, and the cops are manhandling him. He's saying like, "Oh, this is democracy manifest."
Oh, yeah, that does ring a bell.
They got that guy, and he's in the music video for Dine and Dash.
This is democracy manifest. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I see you know your judo well."
Oh, yeah. He's like an older guy.
He's an older guy. He's very old in this video.
I see you. I see you've studied your judo well, sir. Right. Crazy. I forgot about that. But yes, you've unlocked a memory for me.
Yeah, and I think to everyone, to the viewers, please check out this song, and you will also have that memory unlocked, unless you're like under 20 years old, at which point you'll definitely have no idea what it is.
No, I don't even remember when was I in college? Was I in college when I saw that? Maybe it was later than that.
I don't know. I think that clip is from like 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's old.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. I guess it could have just been an old clip that I just happened to stumble upon.
Probably.
Yeah, I see. What were we talking about? How'd we get on?
What we're talking about? We're talking about this picture of the computer.
Oh yeah.
We went down the storage archive.
Right.
But anyway, the point I was making is it's a PDP, which is this one's not part of the Unix lineage, but the PDP-11 was another digital computer. So the cool thing about all this is it's sort of like, oh, there's Krak learning to program. He's learning to write C, back when C was being invented on the Unix operating system that was being invented. It's just kind of cool. It's a historical piece.
I think I've complained about this same thing before, but I'll say it again. Making Phantom's Revenge has made me feel so late to the party. Like learning GML, it's like, wow, okay, someone else who 30 years ago who actually knows how to code decided, what if I use my code to design like a baby code for idiots to learn? and that's what I'm dabbling in right now. And I'm like, I feel so patronized by these tool sets that like someone has laid out for me.
Yeah, and you know where that started? In like 1964, right? They come out with the BASIC programming language, just called BASIC. Is that like one step up from like assembly language? Or? No, BASIC is all nice mnemonic words, things like go to and print.
Yeah.
And they made it because obviously normal people could not just write assembly code. It takes a certain kind of, you got to study it, you got to understand what the instructions do. So they come up with BASIC, and it's very basic. It's easy.
And BASIC is like a I've never like tried it, but it's like a human readable sort of coding
Yeah, totally
system.
readable,
Yeah.
like regular source code.
Yeah.
No weird syntax usually, although the
Mhm.
early ones had kind of weird syntax because computers were junky. Like you could fit like 40 characters of text on a line on your home computer, so they had to be a little
Yeah.
terse.
Yeah.
But like here's a picture of some Atari Basic, which is very similar, like a Commodore Basic.
Let's Hola Wikipedia. Okay. 10 for x1 to. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in this type of Basic, they have to number the lines, and then if you were to do a go to, you would say go to that line. But this one happens to be doing a for loop, which is like whoa, big Mr. Programmer over here pulling out the for loop. But
programming jokes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so since the very beginning, people have been like, "Oh, we got to make a language so that more people can program. We got to make it easier."
Yeah.
And there's Basic, there's COBOL is another big one that's still incredibly still used today. This ancient, terrible language.
COBOL.
Yeah, COBOL.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. Should have been dead 30 years ago, and it's still going because they use it in like insurance companies use this in like their mainframe computers that they haven't changed since like 1970.
Sure. So you gotta keep the old language.
You gotta keep it going. You gotta keep your COBOL going. There's a bunch of these
common business-oriented language. Oh, I see.
There's MUMPS is one used in the medical billing and coding field. It's another cancerous, terrible old language.
Yeah, I see.
And if you look for programming jobs, sometimes you'll see still listings for like we need a MUMPS guy. Those jobs are bad.
No.
You don't want that job.
Yeah. No, seems weird. Interesting. Yeah.
But
Massachusetts General this is not what I thought MUMPS was going to stand for.
No,
Massachusetts
right?
General Hospital Utility Multi-Programming System. Okay. All right. Massachusetts General Hospital is all in one letter. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
It was really MGH Utility Multi-Programming System, but they spelled it out for the very basic among us.
Gotcha. Or just M for short. Yeah.
And it's so funny
if you can. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because all these languages are of kind of a similar vintage, right? And then we have C that comes out like maybe 5-10 years after this.
Yeah.
And C is so actually good that
I saw your comment on the last episode in response to Gamers Tavern.
Oh, he was talking about C#. C# a whole different animal.
Oh, okay.
Related only in letter.
I assumed it was like a child language or like a
so what C#
evolution.
C# is sort of similar to Java. The idea is to make this like nice virtualized language that has like garbage collection and automatic memory management and stuff, and it's sort of in the style of the C programming language. So like the semantics are similar, but it's not actually like you wouldn't say it's based on C,
Okay. All right.
But it looks cosmetically very similar, and it's got like some other things.
Gotcha. I think. Okay, so
same story as Java.
I also don't know much about Java. I used a little Java on my website once. I copied and pasted some Java.
Well, that's JavaScript.
Which
different? Unfortunately is very different.
What the fuck? Okay, C#. Oh, yeah, nothing to do with C. Yeah, unrelated. Oh, JavaScript? No. This is not Java. No, this is JavaScript. No, this is totally different.
And the problem is, like in the 90s, people just had Java on the brain. They come out with the Java programming language. They're like, oh, we need a language for the web. JavaScript. It's like they're
sure.
barely connected. The only connection really is, again, that they all sort of copy the C semantics and styling, the symbology of the two. And it's not like the actual languages are not very similar.
Well, that sucks. That blows. But okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. So you were saying C comes out 5-10 years later.
Yeah. Sort of almost of the same era. That maybe the next era of computer programming. They come out with C, and it's great. It's the best thing that anyone's ever thought of. We're still using it today, and it still kicks ass. Like there's just nothing wrong with it, and it rolls. I guess
that's how it is with real languages that you speak. You figure it out, and like, well, if it works, let's just keep using it. Makes sense. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel.
Well,
I guess.
and that's exactly it. So the problem was, people would make these languages. You'd make your COBOL or your MUMPS, and it would run on like this very specific computer. Like MUMPS runs on the MUMPS computer or whatever it is, like this one computer. And when they come out with a new computer, somebody has to like re-implement the language for that computer. And then, or there's a new language for that computer, and they got to rewrite all the tools for the new language for the new computer. Right. But the reason C has so much staying power is they wrote Unix, right? And Unix is this operating system that provides these API interfaces for the C language. And then anything that's written for Unix works on Unix no matter what the computer is. So you just port Unix to the new computer, and then everything, it's like a virtual machine for all these programs. All your programs just work. You can build them on the new computer.
Yeah.
And that was, that was so fundamental and so game-changing that just like it embedded C and Unix forever. Like they're just unstoppable juggernauts.
So is Unix sort of like an operating system?
Yeah, it's an operating system.
Okay.
And then later on, of course, in the 90s, Linus Torvalds comes along and he says, well, Unix is kind of big. It's kind of expensive. People can't really get it. I'm going to make my own kind of Unix-like thing for little normal people computers instead of for, the big mainframes and mini computers at institutions and universities.
Oh, that's Linux. Unix. Linux.
Yeah, it's
right.
Cute, right? Linus is like, I'm going to make my own little, and the story goes that like his sysadmin friend was making his home directory and mistyped his name Linux instead of Linus. Who knows if that's true? And he was like, "Oh no, that's good. We'll keep that."
That's a cute story, like the story of Toru Iwatana. He was eating a pizza and he looked down and he took a slice out of the pizza and he looked down at the pizza with a slice out of it and he said, "Oh my god, I've got a new idea for the next legendary video game character." It comes to me in a flash. It might, even if it's not true. Yeah, that's okay. It's better if we act as though it is.
But so that's why C# and Java. They take this idea that like, okay, we have this Unix, this Linux operating system that is a virtual machine for the actual computer, right? And they say, what if we literally put on top of that another virtual machine layer that abstracts the operating system? So now instead of writing your program for Unix, you write it for Java and you build it for Java, and the Java virtual machine just runs on Linux and it runs on Windows, right? And it runs on Mac OS. So you don't have to rebuild your Java code. You just deploy it, and they've got a JVM that's already built for that operating system. But it turns out that sucks actually, because in practice, like everyone just runs Linux in their data center, so you could just build it for Linux. So there's the whole value of Java and C# abstracting the operating system, it just doesn't exist in the enterprise space. And
when you say. Or no, go on.
Sorry.
Were you gonna say something else?
Oh, I was just gonna say also. So like in the enterprise space, everyone's just running Linux, and in the desktop space, everyone's just running Windows. So it's like the value of doing it for Java specifically is like Why would you? Right? Like,
Okay, so
build it for Windows, or
so
just build
Java,
it for Linux.
So Java is meant to abstract the operating system, as in, like, okay, if you build a program for Java, then Java will make it run on any operating system.
Yeah, you
right?
compile it to bytecode for the Java virtual machine, and then the virtual machine will have been written for the specific computer and operating system that you're actually running. So you just install one JVM, or they call it a runtime environment on the computer, and then it's like, oh, well, now you've got this virtual computer that is the same as everyone else's virtual computer.
I understand. Yeah, but in practice, like, everyone's running the same operating system, so why?
Right.
I get it.
If you're writing a game, right, like, you just target Windows, realistically. And I say that even as someone who uses Linux on the desktop every day, all day, 100% of the time. Like, I build my games for Windows, and then I run them in Wine on my computer. Like,
right. Well, Wine isn't Wine basically like a virtual Windows that runs on Linux?
Sort of. So what Wine does is it provides, like, the API calls that Windows has. It doesn't need to virtualize it, because your computer is still the same CPU architecture. Like, the code that you built for Windows runs on this computer. It just, like, if it makes a library call out to, like, open a file dialog or something, like, Windows provides that. So Wine provides a similar thing. So it's not an emulator exactly, and that's why Wine it's like a nested acronym. Wine is not an emulator, is what Wine stands for.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wine is not an emulator? Oh my god.
It's very cute.
Wow. Well,
but
now
that's what it
something.
is. So it just provides these libraries that you don't have because you're running Linux.
I just assumed that the W stood for Windows.
Yeah,
Windows
it kind of does, right? It's like Win-E, but it's also,
Yeah.
It's got layers. Very clever people over there.
This reminds. Damn, they make computers. They know how to.
They do be making them computers, though.
They making us computers bigger and better and smaller and better too. This reminds me of I showed you the weird, stupid, dumb shit that happened to not Slime and Punishment, to Phantom's Revenge when I tried exporting it for for the
web.
What was it? Yeah, on HTML3 8.5. It just acted different. For weird shit happened where, like, did you see that the like when I started the start menu, the pointer
it was like looping through all the images.
Yes, the arrow icon, instead of just displaying the icon, it looped through a bunch of similarly sized images, as though it knew that, okay, this image that I want to display is a certain size. Let me find things that are a similar size, and then sequentially loop through a sequence of them. It's like it knew something, and then I went in and I retyped the code. I put in a new instruction to change that, to make it not do that, and it didn't work quite right. And then I undid the changes, and then it worked. I undid everything. I went all the way back. I reverted all my changes, but it worked now.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
and it's all down to, like, however Game Maker is compiling this stuff, and it's probably taking your art and, like, building new sprite sheets with, like, similar size pieces,
Maybe.
And it's just all invisible to us. We don't know how it works.
It has automated a bunch of stuff like making sprite sheets. Like, you don't really have to fuck around with sheets in Game Maker. But maybe in its own internal logic, it sort of does.
It's probably like
them.
arranging stuff onto a grid of images, and it's like it's compressing your data in some way, right? Like if you were to look at the exe it puts out, for example, like, you won't find your image, like, literally in there, but it's in there somehow. They've compressed it and they've combined it with other things. And I guess the HTML exporter just does some goofy stuff.
Yeah. Apparently it gets real goofy when left to its own devices. I watched a video this past week that was called it was explaining how JPEG compression works.
Okay.
And I was like, well, it was real fucking neato. Let me find the video.
Yeah, so I'm trying to imagine myself how it might work, right? Like, obviously it's lossy compression, so it's like somehow using maybe like some mathematical function that generates noise to somehow compress the data, which is I don't know how that works. It sounds cool.
Here it is. The video is called "The Unreasonable Effectiveness of JPEGs," and there's
Oh, that's funny. I remember seeing this. This was recommended to me, but I didn't watch it.
It was recommended to me, and I ended up watching it, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's some of the stuff that it does is it basically just loses color information. It simplifies color information while retaining brightness information. And like just the fact that the human eye is more sensitive to brightness than to color does like so much work. Like you kind of don't even notice because your eye is more. It does color sampling. Like it'll take like it'll like average out between like 4 pixels. Like it'll do like average color sampling for color but not brightness on a bunch of different scales, and that does a lot of the work. And then it will. Man, I mean, this is a long video, so I can't explain it. Really, I can't summarize it that much.
Dear viewer, if you're interested, please watch this video.
You should just watch the video, but like it'll there's like a dozen different things that it does. Like the brightness signal, it ends up like it takes the pixel. Because most images are what it calls a low frequency, meaning that there tends to be relatively little change in brightness just from like one pixel to the next, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
2 adjacent pixels are likely to be fairly similar, and the fact that the images are low frequency means that if you plot the brightness data, the brightness values on a line, and you associate a curve with that plot, you can then you can sort of approximate a function of that plot that you've just created by graphing the brightness data linearly as a sum of cosine waves.
Oh, okay.
And
so that makes sense, right? You sort of were expected to be something like that. When you look at the noise, it's like it's very particular the way JPEG noise looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, like with enough data. It sounds like bizarrely complicated, like that you have to turn like a sequence of data points into this like weird sum of functions. But with enough data, if you can do that, then I can see like you can definitely store that sum of cosine waves in a smaller amount of data than just a sequence of values, right? When you have like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of values.
Absolutely. Because I mean, you think of an image, like if you wanted to store a literal bitmap, that could be I don't know, 3 bytes per pixel if it's a 24-bit color image, and if there's alpha channels, not in JPEGs, but like in PNG, for example, then it's 4 bytes per pixel. That adds up quick. There's a lot of pixels even in a small image.
It seems, I don't know, on face value, it seems ridiculous to suggest that you could just take basically any sequence and approximate it with the sum of cosine waves. But well, you can make any cosine wave you want. You can add as many of them together as you want. And we're just approximating here. We don't have to get it exactly right.
I mean, it's just like even in a Cartesian plane, like a 2D graph, right? Like if you have any set of points, you could construct some function that connects them. Yeah,
exactly. So that the cosine wave thing, the sampling. It shows examples where like it takes an image, just a small image of just like 8 by 8 pixels, right? And then it does like it retains the brightness in each pixel, but then it like it averages out the color value, just it reduces it down from 8x8 to 2x2, right? It combines sets of 4 pixels, and losing the color value and retaining the brightness value. It's basically the same image. Like, it looks a little different, but like it's basically the same.
But not in any way that matters unless you're like printing it out.
Not in any way that matters. Yes, exactly. Unless you need like pixel perfect accuracy, which you don't with any like.
You probably don't, right? If it's a photograph, you probably don't.
Computers.
It's funny. I don't know if you've looked into compression in general at all, but it's kind of fun to play with. Like, you could write your own code to compress data, for example, and do. You were talking about this a while back. Yeah.
Didn't you say that you wrote like I think you said that you tried to just kind of come up with like a sort of naive,
I tried
the most
to think
basic
of like
algorithm,
the most naive, the dumbest thing you could do if you wanted to compress data. And the first thing to attack, I think, like if you have a big
is redundancy, right? Combined redundancy.
Yeah. So if you have a bunch of repeated bytes, the same byte again and again and again. What if you just come up with some mnemonic to replace that with like the number of how many of those there were? So if you have like 100 0 bytes next to each other, just have something that says, oh, put 100 of those in here, right? And now you've saved 97 bytes or whatever, because you still gotta put in your control sequence, but you don't have to print all those bytes. And I did that. So I went through and did that. I made a program that does it. And it was funny because for certain things, it was as good as like gzip, which is one of the standards for zipping things. It was it was pretty much as good. It was the same.
What kind of data were you compressing with it?
I think MPEG video I was compressing.
I mean, something like video, you're likely to have. Oh gosh, I don't know in what form the data is encoded, but I'm imagining like one pixel. You're at like the data is like what color display on this one pixel.
Well, see,
it's likely to be repeated frame to frame.
It's just like the JPEG thing. So an MPEG video, not only is it like a bunch of weird math to draw each frame, but also they don't draw the whole frame every time. Frames will be like just the delta, and every once in a while there's a keyframe where they have like the whole frame.
Yeah,
so that's a whole.
That's
thing.
MPEG. That's MPEG.
An MPEG.
Okay. All right, that's fucked up.
But you could expand on that compression idea and do like what zip actually does, which I think is it'll go through the file and it'll look for like repeated sequences of the same bytes, right? Like it'll be like ABCD, and it'll find that ABCD and put it into a dictionary, and then replace it with just like the number of the dictionary lookup. So you could build this dictionary of all these common repeated sequences and just replace them, and that saves you a bunch of data too.
Sort of an extension of the we can compress redundant data, and then we can expand that to be like, okay, well, it doesn't just have to be a single letter, one letter at a time in a sequence of them. We can expand that to be, a longer sequence that we find multiple times. Instead of just the same one repeated byte, maybe it's some common sequence. I gotcha.
Maybe you initialize all your values to 1, right? And so there's a bunch of these integers that are taking up 4 bytes each that are actually just like 0001 in memory, and you could replace that sequence with 1 byte instead of 4.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could. Is there like? I'm thinking like, okay, you take any arbitrary data that you're looking at. You could probably come up with like an infinite number of data saving tricks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess is it just a question of like, okay, at what point are you going to be like, all right, we've compressed it enough, we don't need any more?
Yeah, well, right, and so that's where lossiness comes in, right? Like you look at an MP3, for example, or an MPEG video or a JPEG, right? It's like we need this to be smaller. So how do we do it? You've got to start introducing loss. And then it just becomes, when is it so distorted that it's no longer acceptable? And that's where you stop.
Yes. And that's I guess that's an artistic question, or that's an aesthetic question, or not necessarily. I guess it might be a technical. This is how much, I don't know. Probably depends on the use case. Or whatever.
But I mean, if you look at like audio, for example, a WAV file which is not compressed versus like an MP3 file, even a constant bitrate 320 kilobit per second MP3 file is much smaller than a WAV file. Like they've just cut out so much data that just does not matter. And with most things, it's like that.
And they sound the same.
They sound the same. You can get that like 10x reduction without losing almost anything.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
It is crazy. Naively, you would think, I don't know, when I still conceive of like an image file as being a piece of data that tells the computer, like what color to draw on each pixel.
Yeah.
It's funny what you said about MPEG video. It only draws the delta or whatever. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Still, I'll probably always think of it as like, I don't know, a sequence of images, a sequence of bitmapped pixel encoded images.
Yeah, and actually on the video, that's why sometimes you'll see like a video that gets all destroyed. It looks like a mess, and then suddenly it like just pops back and it looks fine again.
Like it'll suddenly like stop, and then it'll like turn all blocky, and then like some blob of cubes will start like smearing across the
and it's because it lost a keyframe. Right, it lost a keyframe, so now it's building a delta on something else. It just doesn't. It doesn't work.
I see. Yeah. I guess that explains it. I guess that explains why video looks all fucked up sometimes.
That explains everything. It's all come together.
How do we get on this? Where
I don't remember. I don't know. We're deep in the weeds.
Oh, we were talking about the commission.
Oh yeah, that's right. Anyway,
talking about data languages, and
it's cool. Krak's learning to write C on a computer. It's nice.
I think I retweeted it on Endless War.
Yeah,
because it had
it do have that little Endless War guy in there. I made sure to get that in there.
That's very. I was looking around. I saw that it was green, and I was like, "Is this an Endless War thing?" And I saw him on the screen. I was like, there he is."
I mean, it's got to be at this point.
There he is.
I feel like the characters become deeply entwined in Endless War, sort of inseparable.
Absolutely. When I was trying to trade pins. I made a few trades. The Podrins were pretty. A couple people wanted the Podrin pins. One person liked the Endless War Night Sky pin. I traded that for. Oh, I got one. I got a trade that's like a black and white egg, and the egg is cracking, and a little purple creature is looking out with like a green anime eye, and I'm like, that's me.
Yeah, that's you. That egg that's about to hatch.
This egg is me.
Sounds about right.
It's the smallest pin that I got, but it's the best one. It's my favorite. I know I got some Sona pins, but like, whatever. I don't know who these people are.
I mean, if you don't know who they are, it's like, okay, I got their Sona, but like it's just a sparkle dog. I don't know what this is.
Actually, I got one Sona. And I asked them about it, and they were like, yeah, I'm going to be suiting later. And I was like, oh, cool, keep my eye out. And then, lo and behold, when it was... unfortunately, I didn't get to say anything to them. I didn't get to tell them at the time. But later on, when they did the fursuit parade, when everyone walked through Boston Common,
sure.
Like a few, 10 or 15 feet in front of us was that dragon. That purple and green and teal dragon was right there, and I was like, oh, it's from the button.
I got him. I got that guy. I know that. I know him.
Yeah. And then it started snowing. It started snowing like as we were walking around, and I thought, "Darn, that can't be good. That can't be good for these." That was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some crazy squalls here. I don't know what it was like over there.
When I didn't see that much. We were walking around the common, and it just started to snow a little bit, and it was like, okay, let's go inside. And then 5 or so, I'm like, okay, I don't want to wait for the dance contest. I'm leaving. And then I walked outside. It was fine. And then I got on the green line, and like a couple stops down the green line, all of a sudden it goes from light to dark in no time at all. And then all of a sudden it's like a blizzard outside. And not like a blizzard, but suddenly it's wind and it's dark and it's snowing. Like I got on 10 minutes ago, I got on and it was light out and it was no snow, and then now it's like it's dark, and the street lights I'm seeing snow swirling, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna have to walk in this. But then no, it had stopped. It had stopped, or we had moved out of it by the time that I got off.
Yeah, it was the same thing here. It was like a huge big storm rolls in, and like 10, 15 minutes later, it was just gone.
I was lucky that it passed entirely while I was on the tee. I didn't actually have to walk through it at all.
That could have been bad.
Yeah. Lucky. Also lucky that I wasn't in like a fursuit or anything. I would imagine if that had happened while they were all walking around the common. It would have been pandemonium.
Oh, yeah, nightmare. I mean, well, they'll be
imagine
warm,
you get that in your
suit,
fur.
But
yeah, but you don't want moisture in your fur, right? It's got to be bad. It's got to be bad to get wet.
Well, I think what'll happen, it'll end up causing it all to get tangled, and somebody will have to brush the whole suit out, and that'll be a nightmare. You always got to brush them a little bit, but like, you know, if the whole thing's been wet, it's bad.
I think so. Yeah, I would try to avoid it, I think.
But I mean, some people put them in like the washing machine. I don't know how that goes.
I guess it depends what you made it out of.
Yeah.
Nah, you just spray it. Just spray it with Axe body spray.
That's what people do. They pretty much just usually like isopropyl alcohol. They just spray it with and hope for the best.
Is that real? Does that work?
Yeah. You just spray it and it kind of neutralizes the most offensive of the odors.
I guess. Yeah, I mean it disinfects, I suppose. So kill whatever's growing on it.
Because otherwise you don't want to lose the musk of your husky suit, right?
I mean that's half the appeal.
That's half the appeal.
If you can't smell it, it's like it's not even there. Hold on. Let me look at this guy. I'm trying to remember if I did anything else. What else did I do at Anthro New England? Not much. Didn't really go to any panels or anything. Cause what do I want to do? What do I want a panel for? Oh, okay. I can't look at the schedule anymore. All the previous days are gone. They're all delisted.
Oh, that's very annoying.
I don't know why.
I guess you had to get the book.
Well, I have the book. I have the book, but it doesn't have a schedule in it.
It doesn't have the schedule?
No. You have to look online for the schedule because the schedule is like at BronyCon. You know, there were so many rooms, and every room had its own schedule. So there was like a whole like grid of like, you know, what room, what time, what's going on.
Yeah.
This is much smaller than that. So it's basically just like 1 or 2 main rooms that have an event. So the schedule is just a list, and like at any given hour, it's like, okay, there's like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 things happening. So it's not that complicated. So I don't know why they didn't just print it in the damn book that they give you. No, you had to look online for it.
Well, you know, they probably did something crazy like printing the book months in advance, and they just don't have the data when they did it. They didn't know what the schedule was.
Oh, you know, that reminds me. Speaking of printing a book, I'm thinking the printers that I used for various things. The local printer is called Fleming Printing. I use them for the Blu-ray jackets. I use them mostly for Road to Radcon, printing those. I think they might suck a little bit. Or maybe
Yeah.
I just... Because I was very disappointed. I asked them, because I was, because I want to do a book form of Slime and Punishment, and I asked them what would it cost me. First of all, I'm just gonna bitch about them for a second. They won't just this is something they've never been willing to do it. They won't just like tell me like how to figure out what something costs. They adamantly will only tell me what something costs if I specifically ask them, like, how much would exactly 100 copies of this exact thing, this many pages, this type of paper, this coloration, this type of binding,
that's very
this
annoying.
many. Yes, and they won't. I've asked, like, can you just
give
tell
me the formula, right?
Can you just give me the formula? And they won't do it. They're like, no, you got to ask. So I have to I'll be like, okay, please tell me how much 100 would cost. Please tell me how much 200 would cost. Please tell me how much 300 would cost. How much 400 and how much would 500. And then she'll send me 5 quotes. And it's like, okay, why are you making this hard on both of us?
Yeah, like, why waste their time?
Yeah, like, just fucking let me figure it out, dude. Well, I was sort of putting my feelers out, and I asked them about what a Slime and Punishment would be, and I was like, okay, I kind of ballparked how big it would be. It's like, okay, it needs to be full photo color. It needs to be probably maybe about 150-ish pages, something like that. And she sends me back a quote. I asked for 100 because that seems like a good like minimum. Like I would want to print it like no fewer than 100.
Yeah, I feel like you usually sell about that quantity of pretty much anything. So
I think, I would expect to sell 100. I think if I was doing it, probably more, hopefully more. But she quoted the price she quoted me. It was going to cost like $50 a book. Even make, and I'm like, and I was taken aback, and I asked her like, okay, this is pretty expensive. Can you recommend me any ways that we could bring the cost down? Like, is there like a standard size that would be cheaper that's similar? Maybe different paper size. I don't know, anything you can recommend.
Yeah.
And then she sends me a reply that's like, here's the corrected. Like the guy made a mistake. That was not the right price. Here's the corrected price. And this time it was like $29, $30-ish per copy. And I'm like, okay, better. That's still high. That's still more than I think it should cost to do this. So I basically sent the similar. I was like, okay, better, but still, can you recommend me any, like, is there a standard size that would be cheaper? Is there like how much would it cost if we reduce the size? Like what? And she sends me back as like, and again, she doesn't give me any insight. She's just like, here is the quote. Here's the quote. Here's how much it would cost if we printed it at the, I like, what if we shrank it down to 6x9? Like, here's how much it would cost for 100 at 6x9, and she just sends me a number, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
that's terrible.
Just give me just give me the. I don't want to ask you every specific fucking permutation of size and number of copies and glossy or unglossy. Like, I won't do it. First of all, these prices you're quoting me are shit. And second of all, you're being ridiculous. Why are you making this so hard? Why do you hate me so much? And so I go on, I'm Googling around for printing stuff, and I found one, just the first one I found was called Mixam. And I'm typing in the specifications I'm looking for, and Mixam is like half. It's like $18 or less, depending on if I change format slightly per copy. And I'm like, okay. I kind of think Fleming is just, maybe they just suck. Maybe I shouldn't have used them for anything. Maybe even printing Road to Radcon with them was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're just like, they'll make up whatever number they think they can get away with. Like, what is? Oh, he made a mistake. We'll cut the price in half. What was the mistake?
She said he like entered the wrong. You know what? Let me find it. Let me find exactly what she said.
Like, how do you accidentally like double the quote? You
know what? Her exact words. Here we go. Hi, Ben. I've attached a corrected print estimate for you. Please accept my apologies, as the estimator entered an incorrect number in the production formula and didn't catch it before passing the final estimate along to me.
So there is a formula.
Yeah.
It's like,
So there is a formula.
Could you forward me the production
Could you just
formula?
tell me the fucking formula? You know what? Yeah. That's true. And that's just more evidence to what I was already thinking, which is, they're just telling me whatever they fucking want to tell me, whatever they think they can get away with.
Yeah.
And that hurts me. That hurts me because I have used these guys. I feel like I had some rapport with this lady. I have done a bunch of different things with them. I've printed a bunch of stuff with them. I thought, doesn't that mean something? Am I not a valued customer?
You're a valued repeated customer, you would think. And it's like, listen, you're running a business here. You're trying to estimate your costs because you got to make money on this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't just, it's not just a passion project where like, you just got to get this printed. Like you're trying to produce a product that you're going to sell.
I'm trying to produce a product and
the numbers matter.
The numbers matter and I got to keep the costs low. And it's like, bro, surely you want me... It's like the fact that they want to conceal information from me. It's like, do you not want me to be? If you don't want to print like a less robust product, like if you don't want the price to go down, then like I don't know, don't offer cheaper production methods, I guess. It's like she knows that I could bring the price down, but she doesn't want me to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're treating you like an idiot and a customer and not like a partner, which is what they probably should be treating you like.
I wonder if it's like, honestly, no, I don't know what like their bread and butter is. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe they're sick of me. Maybe I'm like some small time guy whose orders are like, couple $100 here, couple $100 there, and they're just like, oh, why do you even bother with this guy? He's not worth the time. He's small potatoes. He's a pipsqueak, small fry.
Yeah, and even if it's not the case, that's definitely the impression they're given, right?
Yeah. So maybe. Honestly, I mean, maybe they don't care about my business, and they're just sort of like doing it out of a formality. It's like, well, some guy came in and he wants to print like $400 worth of stuff. Ugh, God, I hate when that happens.
Ugh.
I don't know. So I don't think I'm gonna not. I don't know. I'm gonna look into. I might look into. We'll probably look into other options for anything that I want to do in the future before I use them again. I'm a bit not disenfranchised. I'm disenchanted with them.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, my stupid printer. My stupid printer in the I wonder. Damn, I wonder if I got a bad deal. Makes me wonder if I got a bad deal on Road to RadCon. How much did those cost me? Those cost me like $250 or something for like 150. No, that's not right. Hold on. No, it was about $500 for like 150 copies, which isn't that bad. It's like a few dollars.
It was like a paperback comic.
Well, it was printed text, but like I think functionally it was digital printing, so it doesn't really matter if it was text or images. So yeah, like I mean, staple bound, which is not saddle stitched, but like that's fine.
That seems okay.
It doesn't seem too, but maybe I could have gotten. I'm trying to think. The Vapors was printing. The Vapors books were bigger, slightly bigger dimension wise, but they were that was like, it was maybe like $1,700 for an order of like 500, but then it was plus shipping. I think the shipping was a big deal. I think shipping was a big deal why I decided to do it with Fleming, because I could just pick it up in person.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't have to pay like $100 for them to ship me a big,
I mean, especially
creative,
if you order
creative
500 books, right? Like that's
stuff. Yeah.
that, I'm sure the shipping cost is significant.
Yeah, it would be maybe hundreds of dollars. Well, maybe not hundreds,
but
maybe
$100. Yeah, maybe $100.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty obvious to me that like something like Mixam, or I have a few other services here that I have tabs open for. It seems pretty obvious that if these are the prices they're quoting me, I don't think I can go with Fleming for
well, I mean,
if
you're ready to quit Fleming, like why don't you just take the Mixam quote and say, listen, I found this other service. It seems like they can do something pretty equivalent for much less. Like, can you get in this ballpark?
That's not a bad idea, and it's probably
because Mixam, well, you're gonna have to go get it shipped.
I will have to get it shipped. I'm sure.
There's some cost value there. Like even if they quote you like $2 more per book or whatever, it might still be worth it to get it done locally.
I should maybe order some samples. What I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna throw together a book file, order like a sample copy from maybe a couple different services. A single sample copy from Mixam though is like $70.
Ugh.
The curve is brutal.
Yeah.
Like I guess it scales well, but at low scale it's like shit, 70 fucking bucks. Fleming was only going to charge me 50 for a test print. But what's the point of getting a test print done if then like it's prohibitively expensive to print a full run?
Yeah, I mean, well, so you like the print quality of Fleming, right? Like it seems fine.
Well, I haven't printed any color stuff with. Well, I guess I did the Blu-ray jackets, which was fine, but that might be a different. It's a different product, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
they seem fine, so maybe.
It's a tough situation. Good luck.
It's a tough situation. Gib did the Redman comics with the Lord of Ghosts Kickstarter, and she had trouble with the green, right? Because I guess printing green is hard or something.
Oh, it makes sense.
But so I think there are ways to do it. Like I think you have to do like digital. I think like digital printing can do it. It's when you're doing like ink printing, like CMYK.
Yeah,
that producing that kind of green is difficult to impossible. So I think I'm gonna have to go. I think that because Slime and Punishment obviously has some greens in there, so I can't skimp on the greens, so I have to.
Yeah,
I'm
a little weird without it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to spring for probably like the most expensive like page coloring methods, which is unfortunate, but it's just the nature of the beast. So I will fucking glossy. Probably have to go like glossy pages or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to charge. I don't know. I guess I was thinking maybe like $30 or something for like a 150 page. 8 by 11, 8 by 12, maybe an 8 by 12 horizontal print, perfect bound, soft cover book. I don't know.
That sounds nice. That sounds too bad.
That was about the point I was thinking. So, when she's quoting me, oh, it's going to cost $30 to print each copy. I'm like, well,
it's like I'm hoping to sell it for $30. Like that's not gonna.
Why would I? I just can't.
It's simply not going to work.
It's just not going to do it for me. Yeah.
Well, they say you got to spend money to make money, right? Like maybe you'll make it up in volume, sell them for 31.
They say you got to spend money to make money. So if you can spend, if you're spending all of the money that you're making, then no, it's like a Carnot engine, right? It's like the pressure and the volume that you put, the curve on the in, you put it in, and that's the money, and then you squeeze it and you create a combustion, and that's the profit. And then you'd see what I'm, you know what I'm.
Yeah, and then through a process of isothermal compression,
there we go.
You produce your margins.
You produce your margins. You create demand. Butter and guns.
Yeah,
and so on. I don't need to explain this to you.
It's fairly obvious analogy. Yeah,
that's right. Simple economics.
I'll be right back. Can you hold on?
You know what? I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Quick 5 here.
Yo. Put my bathrobe on. Cozy.
Yeah. So I think we're good. I think we got a few topics. Just about time to start the podcast.
Nah. You know what? Nah, these topics suck. Nah, PCP's canceled this week.
It's canceled. Fuck it.
Yeah. No thanks. Nobody wants to hear this.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a highly eventful week for me. We could start voicemails if you want.
Well, the only other thing I want to talk about.
No, go on.
Your favorite topic, cardio. I've been killing it lately. It's been great. I picked up a road bicycle. It's actually a gravel bike, which is
a road bicycle,
bike
like one to ride on the road.
Yeah. Like you know, your typical road bicycle is like it's got drop handlebars that are like hoop shaped, you know, and you've got your skinny little tires so you can go fast.
Oh, as opposed to like a dirt bicycle.
Yeah, like a mountain bike or something.
Mountain bike was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked up a gravel bike, which is a road bike, but it's got like slightly mountain bike like tires, so you can go off road a little bit.
I always okay. My dad had like a street bike. A street bicycle, and I had like a dirt bicycle as a kid. And I always associated that like big skinny wheel drop hoop handlebar as just being like a grown up bike, and I had like a kid's bike.
Yeah,
that's what I thought the difference.
It's the adult thing to do. To switch to the drop handlebar. Now that I've grown up, I'm 30 years old. It was time for me to forget flat handlebars and move on to the drops.
time to lose the tread on those tires, Junior.
Yeah, where are you going with that tread, kid? Come on.
What mountain specifically are you biking?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But man, so I picked it up, and I've been riding like a maniac. I was out a couple of times on the road, even though it's winter and it's cold. Done like 25 miles on the road. And I picked up these rollers, so you can just ride the bike in place on like these like conveyor belt rollers.
You just put it up on a device.
Yeah, there's not like, you know, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. There's some that like hold the bike up, that are just like, it makes it into a stationary bike. But what I got is the crazy person version of that, where it's there are just some rollers on the floor that you ride on that you can fall off of at any time if you stop moving.
Naturally.
And it's been great. I've been hitting them hard, and I love it. It's the best cardio I've been doing. I've got a treadmill too. It kicks the crap out of the treadmill. I'd absolutely recommend the rollers over the treadmill.
I mean, biking is like lower impact than like running on a treadmill, right?
It's low impact, but what's great about the rollers is that you cannot stop pedaling, right? Because as soon as you stop pedaling, the wheels stop immediately. You don't have any actual momentum, and you fall over. So it's like, if you're on there for 25 minutes, you're on there pedaling hard for the whole time. You cannot stop.
Wait. So it's like if you like get tired and stop pedaling, what, you just collapse? The device just implodes?
Well, the only reason you stay up on a bicycle, right, is the gyroscopic effect of the wheels turning, right?
Yes.
Like if you think about it, it's not that you're moving through space; it's that the wheels are turning.
Is that the whole reason?
Yeah, that's it.
It's the gyroscopic like angular momentum of the wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. And their moment resisting changing that axis is all that keeps you upright. That's it.
It's not like it's not about like the fact that there's like two wheels at once that is like providing like a stable like.
Well, that keeps you going like
fulcrum,
forward, right? Like that you have the two wheels. But the reason that you don't like flop over left to right is just that gyroscopic stabilization.
The wheels just don't seem heavy enough. The wheels just don't seem heavy enough to do that. Like your body weighs. Like your body weighs enough. Like if you were just okay, I don't know. To my like if you can hold a bicycle wheel in your hand and spin it, and you can rotate it in your hand even when it's spinning. Like the moment of inertia of a bicycle wheel is not that intense.
Well, you say that, but have you ever sat in like a computer chair, a chair that can turn, and held a spinning bicycle wheel?
No.
'Cause what you'll find, we did this as a physics experiment when I was in high school.
Does it like
so if you hold that wheel, you hold that wheel straight up and down like it would be on the road, and somebody spins it really fast. If you tip that wheel a little bit, it'll turn the chair that you're sitting in. just
no, I never did that.
It doesn't seem like the connection exists, like it could possibly do that, but it does. It's crazy.
Rules.
It's very cool to see.
Science rules.
I fucking love science.
I fucking love Neil deGrasse Tyson. You can only kiss yourself on the lips in a mirror.
But anyway, so because of that, right? Because you have no momentum, the wheels stop instantly because you're not actually rolling. The bike isn't preserving that through physical space, right?
Wait, sorry. Explain to me again. It's on. You put the bike on a roller. What does
imagine
that mean?
So imagine a drum, right? Like a cylindrical drum, and you're just riding. You're riding on top of that. So like there's two of them on either side of the back wheel, and it just sits between them. And so when the back wheel turns, it's spinning those drums, right?
Oh, okay.
And then you have one out in front that's sitting under your front wheel, and it's belt driven from your back wheel. So so as you spin those rear rollers, it also spins that front roller.
Are you directly spinning the roller with your pedaling, or is just like the wheel is turning and it's spinning the roller?
The tire is touching the roller, and so it turns the roller, and then that drives the front roller, which drives your front wheel. So
come to think of it, I think I saw you post a video of you.
Yeah, I posted a little video. That's what I'm doing. And so the moment you stop pedaling, the wheels stop turning, like almost immediately, within a second or two.
And then
it's very strange. Well, as soon as you lose that stabilization, right? Like you got to put your foot down.
So it's not like because when you're riding a bike, you can just kind of coast sometimes. You
exactly.
Can just get
so that's
you
what
get some
saying.
Speed up, and you can just coast down a hill or just coast on a long stretch. I see.
Yeah. You can't. You simply cannot. You simply cannot do that. So it ends up being this crazy cardio workout. I think it's great. It's really cool. It's very cool.
I have not been doing cardio, but I have been counting calories very strictly, and I think I've lost a little bit of weight, and I feel pretty good about that. I think I could lose a little bit more, but I think I'm on track. So that's good.
That's great.
That's
I mean,
good.
and as we all know, as everyone here knows, the only way to lose weight is a calorie deficit, and anything else is bullshit.
That's true. But I got this device that like puts a rubber belt around my midriff and like vibrates my torso flesh.
and those definitely those will stiffen you right up for sure.
Well, they move the fat to a better region. They move the fat into my biceps where they look like big muscles. Actually, they squeeze the fat upwards into my upper back, so it looks like I have big bulging deltoid, or I have big bulging lats on the sides when I flex. Yeah,
which
perfect.
is very cool. Very
so cool. You get the wings when you lift and you want those wings on stage. Yes, so you get those 10 out of 10s.
Oh, wonderful. Very good.
Yeah. It's too cold to exercise.
Yeah, that's why I did it. That's why I got the rollers, because I want to be hitting this bike hard like all summer. You know, I want to go on some big, like multiple days long maybe bike rides. Do a little bike packing, as they call it out there. So I'm getting ready.
Makes sense.
I'm amping up.
That's cool. Yeah, that's good. You know, I have a new phone. This is some bitch baby shit. But I have a new phone that actually works now, and I downloaded Pokemon Go.
Wow.
The last time I lost a bunch of weight, part of the reason why was because I was calorie deficit, I was keto, and I was walking around playing Pokemon Go like every day. That was my workout, and you know, it worked for what I was trying to do.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, it does not take very much to like get that muscle activation. You know, literally just walking around for a while is actually huge.
It actually
if you would otherwise not be
huge.
moving, it's huge.
What I lost like 40 pounds in like 6 months.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I should do that at the very least.
For sure.
No moving at all is bad. It's very bad.
I mean, if I were you, I would definitely be like jogging around the block. You got a pretty decent area where you could be jogging.
Yeah, I could be jogging. You know, I got a little loop.
That's a little tricky though, because as soon as you start doing that, it's like, well, now you're going to be producing a lot of sweaty laundry, and like if you don't have the right shoes, you're going to hurt your feet and stuff, and I don't know, it ends up being somehow it ends up being expensive. It's kind of a bummer.
That's true, and I hate running. I've always hated running. I'd rather just if only there was some way to exercise from the comfort of my own home.
Man, if only. Yeah, I've got this whole great regimen that's been working out great for me. I only do like 4 body weight strength exercises, and I do my cardio.
You've got those rings. You've got those hanging rings.
I've got the rings, and all I do with those, I do with them is what they call, I think, an Australian pull-up, which is where
Australian. Is that when like you lean back on your heels?
Yeah, you lean back on your heels, and you can do a pull-up, and you adjust the rope length to adjust the intensity. And I've just got it set to where I can do like 20 of them. To
adjust like the angle, right? So you're kind of on your heels, lean back, and you're sort of pulling yourself up and forward. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I do those. I'll do body weight squats. I'll do push-ups. And then I also do a calf extension on stairs. And those 4 things together, combined with like going for a run or hitting the rollers on the bike, is like crazy great full body workout. And it doesn't even take that long, which is nice too.
Well, I have not been lifting since New Year's, which 2 months. Oh, it's almost 2 months now, but
it's a long time.
It's pretty. But I'm actually for real going to start again soon. I swear. I promise.
I swear, guys. I'm gonna start soon.
Really, my gains.
Do you know if Kazee Munchie are lifting?
They are not. They have also not been. But I think we're all on board of like, we've got to stop fucking around.
Man, no excuse for them, because like the stuff's there. They got it.
Yeah.
Just go downstairs, start lifting. What's the problem? You know?
Yeah, true.
Calling them out.
Yeah, true.
Calling them out.
I'm the cheerleader.
Yeah.
I keep the motivation going.
Without you,
keep
they just can't be bothered.
No,
the morale's too low.
Exactly. That's me. I'm the hype man.
You know,
I'm a positive influence.
When you think of Ben Saint, you think positive attitude, hype. Mm-hmm. Famously.
Yeah, those two things. Positive attitude and height. Put those on my tombstone. Do you what do you think? Voicemail? Can we start up a voicemail?
I think it's
okay.
time.
Let me check if we've gotten any last minute. Nope. All right. Let me grab the first one here. Where did I put it? Okay. The first one of the day is called Folks with Bad Animation Takes from pronouns at she.her.
Okay.
That's good...
Sounds promising.
Some bad animation takes. Folks with bad animation takes. There we go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
I was listening to episode 300 when you're talking about people who think lower frame rates inherently look bad, and I have a theory as to why. Throughout its entire history, animation has generally been looked down upon by the mainstream as something that, while perhaps good, is always of less value and more disposable than live action, something for kids or for cookie-cutter sitcoms. Beyond that, the masses don't see animation as a worthy art form in itself. It's only valuable in the ways it can create a facsimile of reality. In other words, people want to forget they're looking at a drawing as much as possible. That's why Disney movies all used full animation, then went to 3D animation, and are now getting remade in live action. Even though these are all equally valuable mediums, the stigma against animation means most people see them in a hierarchy, with most realistic at the top. That's why Spider-Verse looks bad to these people. For as well done as it can be, all of its stylistic flourishes are meant to remind you that you're looking at a bunch of drawings as much as possible. It's easy to misdiagnose this issue as people just not knowing enough about animation, but that's just a side effect, not the cause. You don't need to know the techniques to think Spider-Verse looks incredible, but if you're the type of person who isn't interested in the unique artistic merit of animation in the first place, you're just naturally not going to know what you need to talk about when you try to critique it and end up sounding like an idiot.
So low frame rate draws attention to the artifice.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some truth to that.
If you're there to appreciate the skill of that artifice, it's like hell yeah. But if you're my dad is someone who is just like not interested in animation at all. Except he did think Toy Story was pretty great. Like he thought that like wow, they made a whole movie in a computer. That's crazy.
A whole movie fit in a computer? Jeez.
Yeah. He thought that the 3D of Toy Story was pretty great. But he's not interested in animation. So I could see my dad being like shaking his head at a low frame rate because it would draw attention to the artifice of it.
Yeah.
For him.
Well, I mean,
what's
a low frame rate? Like 12? You know, because I'm sure Toy Story was probably on 24, right? Like I doubt it was.
Gosh,
it wouldn't have been 60.
Idea.
It was probably 24 frames.
Well, have you seen Spider-Verse? I have not seen it, but I know what it.
I'm really not into that sort of thing.
But I know what it looks like.
Yeah. It looks like a bunch of comic book type things kind of glued together, different styles.
Yeah, it has sort of a jerky low frame rate kind of like stop motion.
It's got sort of a mixed frame rate appearance where like different things are sort of different frame rates, and you've got the low frame rate action pieces.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool aesthetic choice.
I think this person is right. Yeah, that probably is part of it. Okay, next one is called Sorry If I'm Mean. His videos are okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
So you know how Ben doesn't like Saber Spark? Or at least he doesn't like his voice? Well, you know, I could listen to a Saber Spark video, but my friend texted me about the new Loxton video. I'm just like, you can listen to Loxton?
Loxton?
Like that guy's voice. If you haven't heard him, he makes Pokemon videos, but like, give it a listen. It's something else. Jeez.
Okay. I don't know who that is either.
Okay, it's Loxton and Noggin, right? Is the channel?
You tell me. I don't know anything about that. I'm seeing it on the Wikitubia though.
I don't know. I've definitely seen a Loxton and Noggin video before. Okay, wait. This is Noggin. Oh shit! I accidentally clicked on a Noggin when I was looking for a Loxton.
Stupid fool.
Classic blunder.
We've
okay,
all
there's
been
Noggin. noggin. Wait. I'm confused. They all say noggin. Maybe the ones that don't say noggin are Loxton.
I think it's all the same guy though, right? I'm looking on Wikipedia here. It just says Austin Lockwood is better known online as Loxton and Noggin. I think it
Why
might
would
be,
why would he be Loxton and Noggin?
I don't know.
If it's one guy.
I think it's just one guy.
Well, I listened to like 5 seconds of him, and he sounds like a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay. Sure. Yeah, sure, he's annoying. Yeah, annoying, but whatever. So is everybody.
I mean, that guy was burying the lead, though. He's saying he likes listening to
Saberspark.
Saberspark videos. I don't know. I don't personally.
I also don't personally, but that's okay. I'm not his audience,
Absolutely.
I guess. As definitionally proven by the fact that I don't watch his videos. Okay. Next one is called Ben Saint is a grease puddle on the floor of a fast food. Okay, there it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
If I've done my calculations correctly, then this will be going on to episode 302.
Good so far.
Yeah.
Ben Saint, give and take, hello. You
Howdy.
brought up in a conversation about Smiling Friends how there was a grease puddle in whatever episode. But you failed to mention, because you probably didn't know, but Psycho Pebbles, the guy who made that show,
Psychic
wanted
Pebbles,
to get
not Psycho
Christian
Pebbles.
Weston Chandler to do the voice of that grease puddle.
We did
But he
mention
couldn't
that.
because Chris, we know why.
We did
Instead,
mention
they
that.
got Harry Partridge to do an impression of Chris. And if you watch the episode, Ben Saint,
Shut up.
You probably, hear that and you'd be like, oh, wow, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'm sure that's how you would be. You would be like,
I would be like, oh,
I
wow.
appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd be blown away to hear Harry Partridge's voice in a cartoon.
Such an irregular medium for the man.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. We literally talked about that exact thing. But okay.
Yeah, I'm
thanks
sure
for
that
the
you
voicemail.
did, because I actually I listened to the
idiot.
last podcast and I heard that. So
Yeah. Exactly.
What a fool! What a fool!
Maybe he left this 5 days ago, so he must have left this.
Oh yeah,
Maybe he left this before that episode, so maybe that explains
That's
it.
all.
Yeah. Next one is Revelations: The Secret to Good Content. 3, 2, 1, go.
I remembered Vic and Hope, and I've been listening to them. Real good. It's really good to hear somebody be talking about people that I like to think about, i.e. Ben Saint.
Did they talk
Victor
about me?
talking about his gripes with Ben Saint.
Really?
Good stuff. I could listen to people complaining about Ben Saint for hours.
What did he say?
That's why I can go back and listen to old episodes of the podcast and just not get tired of them.
What did he
That's
say?
the secret.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
The secret to good content is if it's about people that I know who they are.
I like to hear my friends make fun of my other friends, except none of them are my friends.
Listen, he did not give any context as to what Vic and Hope conversation he is talking about. So I'm just gonna throw that in my mental trash can.
Yeah, unclear if he even means like contemporaneous content or historical.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Who knows?
If I would be interested if Vic is, I doubt this. This doesn't seem like something Vic would do, but if Vic were like bitching about me and making fun of me or whatever on Vic and Hope like these days, I would be interested to hear it. Let me know if that's the case. I'm going to assume it's not the case.
Yeah, I'd be surprised because
I'd be surprised,
Like, what would he have to say? Nothing. Like you haven't done anything to him.
No.
What?
He commented on the documentary just to say, like, he said, like, oh, damn, forgot I put, like, tons of work into this dumb
Sorry,
thing.
I wasted my life on this.
yeah, basically. Next, Shade was replying to some tweets of mine recently.
I saw that.
So I have to assume that I'm cool, that I'm square with the Collins brothers. Because if one likes me, then the other must.
I mean, I think you're doing fine. I think you're doing just fine.
I hope so. I like Vic, so you know. I think it's fine.
I agree. Vic seems
Vic,
cool.
if you hate me,
handsome.
we know.
Seems like a nice,
He
fine young
seems
gentleman.
handsome. He seems handsome, so it's gonna be okay. Next voicemail is called Ben Saint character inconsistencies (parentheses retcons?) question mark. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so in the Radcon 2 documentary commentary track, the character of Ben Saint refers to the Digicat as a, quote, good cat, unquote. This is a complete contradiction to his earlier views, where the character Ben Saint clearly despises the cat, exemplified in his Sonic Chew 101 lecture, where he demands that the cat be removed from his premises with pure malice in his eyes and hate in his demeanor and voice.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
why is the Ben Saint character
I yelled at
so
Lala.
Inconsistent?
Yeah, I forgot I yelled at Lala.
I truly hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
Lala was very rarely annoying. She just happened to want to sit in a very inconvenient spot that day. It was unusual behavior for her that she irritated me on the set.
This was somebody's actual cat?
Yeah, that was Trixie's cat, her parents' cat. Lala, short for Kilala, after the boomerang girl from Inuyasha. That's
embarrassing, but okay. Okay.
her cat who would who once caught a flying squirrel out of the air and left it torn in half at our back door on the porch.
What a sweetie.
Lala was a good cat, and she was a good cat because she was an outdoor cat, and she would pretty much just leave you alone most of the time. Well, just do her own thing.
I think, if I were to characterize the Ben take on cats, I don't think you're a fan, usually.
I'm okay with them, but like I like them, but I don't like when they're annoying. I just don't like when they're annoying.
As long as
sometimes
they're not
they can be
bothering
annoying.
you, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and there it was, right? She wanted to be in a place where it was inconvenient, and so you're upset. Makes sense?
Yeah. So I had to verbally abuse the cat. I saw in a public display of rancor. Next one is called Ben Saint sings the PCP theme. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm supposed to be working right now.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be working right now.
That's right.
I wanna drink cum. Oh, I love cum. I love cum. And my name is Ben Saint.
Just as I remember it.
How did they get this recording of me singing that to myself in private? Sorry you had to hear that, everybody. Next voicemail is called Bibby. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, good. Good.
Yep. Next one is called What's Up YouTube. 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, guys? Sorry I haven't made a voicemail in a while. We're gonna get right into it, but don't forget to smash that like button. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, Imgur, and Mastodon. Alright, first things first, we're gonna respond to the response to this voicemail. Go.
It was a little short for a YouTube intro.
I met someone who used Mastodon at A&E. We were talking about Cyclonials in line for registration, and someone behind us in line chimed in about it. I was describing my argument with Lady Emily and Sarah Zed on Twitter about Cyclonials. Did you see that, by the way?
I don't think I did.
Okay. I was just... Because... do you know who they are?
No.
Okay, well, Sarah Zed is a YouTuber, and Lady Emily is also a YouTuber, but also is Sarah Zed's editor.
Is Sarah like the Lindsay Ellis type?
Sorta.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah.
I think I've seen her.
Well, Lady Emily read Cyclonials and didn't like it. I kind of replied to say I kind of liked it, but I also agreed with some of the stuff she said. And then Sarah Zed chimed in response to me to say, I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't want to go and like read the tweets all verbatim. But I really think I'm not being unfair when I characterize her complaints about Cyclonials as the character does bad things, therefore the story is bad. She listed a bunch of things that the main character does that are bad and says that she's not punished for them.
Actually, Ben, if you think about it, a lot of people died as a result of her careless actions.
Like literally that's what she said. She said like the character did bad things and there's no punishment in the story for her and it's bad. And I was like, okay, well those are all like I'm pretty sure you're meant to know that those things she does are bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And she said like her answer was like, well, Andrew Hussey's real life friends think that cyberbullying is good. Therefore, it's weird that Hussey wrote a story about someone who does bad things to people that harass them online. And I'm like, look, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what Hussey's friends think. I read this and I'm like, it's pretty clear that what she's doing is bad, actually. And I didn't need the fact that her friend, okay, Sarah said that the only consequence in the story that Z faces is that it makes her friend Abby sad.
Yeah.
And like, yes, that's true. The only thing that affects Z does terrible things, and the only time she thinks, oh, this is bad, is because after enough bad things, Abby gets sad. And I don't know, to me, it's like, well, Abby's not good either. Abby's also bad. Abby is kind of like a freak for just kind of going along with it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole story is they're like influencers
you've read it,
with
right?
Simps. Yeah, I read the whole thing. And it's like,
okay.
They're supposed to be kind of unlikable bad people. That's the idea.
Yeah, they're definitely not. You're definitely not supposed to, spoilers, like, you know, see her like send death squads after people that harass her online and be like, oh man, this is like Hussey's wish fulfillment. Hussey thinks this is good, actually.
Yes, Queen, I'm glad someone's finally saying it. We need the death squads.
So I'll just, I don't know.
No, it's, I mean,
stupid,
and so
stupid
you see it reflected in Abby, right? That what Z is doing is bad. That is the punishment. It makes sense. It's like,
yeah,
we don't need her to literally go to jail or something. That's so trite.
Like Abby, yeah. What do you want? Like when? Oh yeah, she becomes a dictator and starts sending death squads out, and then her best friend is like, "Wow, I hate what's happening here," and Z is like, "Oh darn, I guess what I did was bad."
It's like
what do you want?
She
what
sees
do you
the
want
consequences
the story to do?
of her actions. She sees the weight of everything, and it's like, oh, now you're left with the moral choice, and it's magnified to this like universally large scale. But it's the same as any other story. It's like, oh, I'm going to stop doing the bad thing, and I'm going to choose love and friendship over tyranny and power.
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, that's same as every story. I don't see what the specific complaint is. It's just like,
I'll be honest. My read of it is basically just Sarah Zed, and therefore Lady Emily, because Sarah Zed thinks whatever Emily thinks whatever Sarah thinks.
Yeah.
They just don't like Hussey, and they read lots of bad and ill intent into the story of Cyclonials because they think he's bad man.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like. I feel like Hussey didn't even have really anything to say with Cyclonials. He had the opportunity to say so much more, and it was just he chose not to, and it was kind of meaningless.
I totally agree. I completely agree. I think if there's anything to criticize, it's the lack of meaning.
Yeah, really, the criticism from my perspective is that it's exactly what Sarah Z is wishing it was, which is a story where someone does bad things, realizes they were wrong, and walks it back. And it's
just like, well, shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that.
Okay, I'll say there was another thing. She sort of just mentioned this in one of her posts. She said that she mentioned that it goes You know what? I'll just read this one actually, because this one is baffling to me. What's her name? Mary Sue Ryder. Yes. I'm gonna find the exact one because I don't want to misquote. I don't want to mischaracterize this one.
Yeah, for sure.
You tell me what you think when you hear this. Okay. There is zero mention of the fact that her group is mostly made up of white people occupying indigenous land, save for one offhanded comment by her friend. This is in the middle of a bunch of other statements, but this one stood out to me, and not in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, it's made up of white people. They're all wearing white clown makeup. So
yeah, first of all, they're all in clown makeup. So how do you know that? How do you know they're all supposed to be white people? And second of all, I don't know, Nantucket, indigenous land, maybe once upon a time.
Yeah, I'm sure that it was like a Wampanoag settlement at some point, but it's like...
But today, it's like white people.
Yeah, and really, I mean, what is the story if not a complaint that rich white people are on the island? You know, that it's a waste of space and a stupid vacation destination.
Today...
that is the story, is that it's terrible what we've done to it.
Today, the ethnic makeup of Nantucket is 87.4% white non-Hispanic, 3% Black or African American, et cetera, whatever. It's white people. So, I don't know, man. Cyclonials is definitely not the story of Z's white Jubilites coming and colonizing the indigenous Nantucket Island. That's not what happens.
Certainly that sucks that happened, but it's what the story is looking at the present condition of Nantucket and why that sucks. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally valid. You don't need to tell the other story to tell this story.
What do you mean by the other story?
I mean, you don't have to include oh, it's bad that white people have colonized it. It's bad that rich people are there currently.
Right.
That is currently a problem.
I don't know, man. That just doesn't even seem germane at all to the story of Cyclonials. That's just seemed like a bizarre thing to even bring up in a discussion.
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta say I'm not impressed with Emily and Sarah's takes on Cyclonials.
What it is just that it's oh, sure he's making this message, but he could have done more. And it's you could always do more.
Did you see? Have you read Homestuck?
No.
Okay. Well, you know who Jan Measley is?
No.
Sorry. Okay. A YouTube guy who I'm fond of. He had a patron reward thing that he promised. He promised to make a Homestuck video, and he recently did. And I watched it, and it was okay. I was actually a little disappointed in it. It wasn't a great video. It was all right. He points out a bunch of things that suck about Homestuck, and he's totally right that all of those things suck about Homestuck. There was one. He points out some things that Homestuck doesn't do. It specifically doesn't make a point about how social hierarchies are artificial and arbitrary. It specifically does not make that point, because in troll society the blood hierarchy is extremely not arbitrary, and there are extremely obvious like physiological differences between the cast members, the members of the different casts, right? So
Okay.
it's like he says like it's set up almost as though it's going to make a point like that, and then it just doesn't. And like I agree with what he's saying. Like, yeah, it could have made that point, but also I think it's a little petty to be like this like story bad because it didn't make a point I wanted it to make.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I it's really the same criticism. It's like, yeah, it could have done more. You could definitely have done more, but I don't know. They didn't want to do that. So,
I mean, I don't want to defend Homestuck too hard because it definitely sucks. A lot of it does. So, but that I don't know that. Yeah, it's just like a point to something that's not there and be like, why isn't that there? Like, well, I don't know.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
it's tough. It's tough because maybe it should be, but like I don't know. Not everything is going to be the perfect, enlightened criticism of society that you'd want it to be. Unfortunately, like it's just you can't fit it all in to everything. Like it's oh
yeah,
well,
yeah.
it's a shame.
Sorry,
Jan.
Sorry, Jan. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Emily. You're going in the trash. I was a little annoyed. I was a little bit annoyed with Sarah and Emily. I thought they were being a little bit shitty about it. I was trying to be. They seemed a little bit mad. They seemed a little bit annoyed at me for like defending it, and it felt like it was personal to them, and I didn't really like it. I didn't come away with a positive feeling about them after that interaction.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's okay. Next voicemail is called "See Ya Next Week." 3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa, that was a pretty cringe take, but what else could we expect? All right, let's get on to the next segment. We got a voicemail coming in from Ben Saint and Gibbon Take. Go.
Man,
Should I play?
The voicemailer is making a lot of assumptions about the cast this week.
Well, there's another voicemail called "See Ya Next Week," so maybe I'll just go right into that one. 3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa, was not expecting that. All right, well, thanks for showing up, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, find me on socials. You know the deal. See ya.
Little bit of a swing and a miss with that second one.
Yeah,
A little unfortunate timing.
You know, we've really got a wealth in the burgeoning genre of just introductions and outros, and I hope there's more voicemails that are just the introduction and outro videos.
I mean, when you boil down YouTube down to its core, right? Like that is content, right? Like the intro, the outro.
It's most of it, right?
You don't really need what's sandwiched in the middle. I'm here for the bread. I'm here for just the bread.
Absolutely, because I mean, what's the meat?
I'm here to fill up on bread.
What
right?
is the meat, really? It'll be 10 seconds of interesting value, but on the outside of that, we've got all this beautiful set dressing that we need to appreciate.
I couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Next one is called "I Make Them Ponies Talk" from horse@pussy.juice. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Rainbow Dash. Remember when our good pal Ben Saint defended an alcoholic domestic abuser with his girlfriend's leg?
Fluttershy? Damn right I do. That was epically based.
Yeah, I also like the part where Ben then went on to call her soul fat.
That was peak Sigma behavior. We stand.
Thanks, ponies. I'm glad you like my like the stuff that I do in here on the Pro Crastinators podcast. I love it. I love those little candy colored marshmallow horses.
Always good to hear from them.
Next one is called petition to make the opening song from episode 300 the new 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which one was 300? Do you remember?
Was that it was like the Nate clips all crushed together? Is that what it was?
You know what? Let me find out. The Procrastinators. Wait, didn't episode 3 started with It started with Nate and like Mumkey and Jeff, right?
I think so. I think it was like all that stuff kind of crushed together and then like layered on top of each other. So like a million Nates all at once, right?
Oh, PCP.
Yeah.
But then it like fades into. I don't know. I don't know if that's in every episode.
No. And I think if we really look at the psychology of this voicemailer, I think what they're trying to say in a roundabout way is that they appreciated the effort and the construction of that introduction song. And they're just trying to push they don't know how to genuinely express that feeling. So instead they're saying, "Ooh, make it the one for every podcast." But that's not what they mean. We know that. They're just showing their love for you.
Well, good. Keep on doing it. Show your love at patreon.com/theprocrastinators. Get that commentary track. Get that commentary track on that RadCon 2 documentary, baby. I recommend the commentary track a lot. Very good.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah. I think me and Gib had a lot to say. We had a lot of stuff to say about like, hey, remember that thing? Let's talk about what was actually going on with that stuff. What do we think about that in hindsight? Yeah, we had a lot to say about it.
I guess a lot has happened, right? Like,
yeah,
the context of everything and where you've ended up is really a lot. There's a lot there.
There's a lot. So yeah, we filled the whole 2 hours with trenchant insights and illuminating additional context. Next voicemail is called Stephen Gerard. There it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben, can you take over, or Gib, uploading the podcasts to Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Because Tom obviously has lost interest because he keeps forgetting and there's missing episodes.
Yeah, I asked Tom again the other day. I added him in the server and I got no reply. I don't know what he's doing. He hasn't done it for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I keep seeing people complain about it too. Like, people are clearly upset that the podcasts are not generally available.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do it. I've never fucked with Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. So I would have to learn how to do it. I guess I'm going to try and keep pestering him and maybe I'll just catch him on a day where he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. Even if you could just ask him to write you up some notes. Because how hard could it be, right? It's like you got to log in somewhere and you got to post it. Like,
I think he had some kind of like webhook that like did it for him.
Yeah. Probably. That's how, you see people put out their album on like 10 platforms and there's some kind of service that does that. But
yeah. I wish I haven't heard from him in a while. I'm gonna try and get it sorted out.
Yeah. I was hoping he'd be here because I saw he was I guess now he's trying some stuff on like a Game Boy game maker.
Oh, right. I saw he like refurbished a Game Boy or something.
Yeah. At first, he's like taken the vertical slice demo that he had done before and transliterating that over to this Game Boy Studio. And at first, I was like, well, that's kind of silly because so it makes like an imitation of a Game Boy game that you can play on a computer. But it seems like it actually produces a playable Game Boy ROM. So I'm assuming his plan is to like make the game there, make whatever tech demo, and then play it physically on his Game Boy, which sounds pretty cool. Sounds cool to me.
Is he doing like Game Boy like game programming? Is he making Game Boy
it's
stuff?
it's yet another drag and drop editor. But yeah, it is like it produces a Game Boy game. Which is kind of cool. But
nifty.
Do wish he was learning to code though. Tom, learn to code. Please.
Is he what happened to Killing Code?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Remember Killing Code?
Vaguely.
Munchie and Tom. A
distant memory of the deep dark past.
A distant memory. Man, coding's easy. You just look up.
It kind of is.
You just look up you just fucking Google what the command you're looking for is.
Once you understand like logic and flow control, right? Like if and for and stuff, and you understand the syntax, various curly brackets or whatever you need.
It's just about learning the syntax. It's just learning.
You know that, and then you just look up the API. Like you look up the functions you got to call and how you call them, and that's it. Right?
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. It's literally it.
And if like you're using GameMaker or whatever, it deals with the whatever other bullshit. It's just like you write your thing, and that thing has some code, and it's got some variables and some functions, right? And like you use
naturally.
Those. That's it.
Yeah, you just they made them for you. They made them for you. They laid them out for you to use. It's just like, here you go. You just take them. Just take them and run with it. What could be simpler? So I think I've said before that I found the drag and drop game maker stuff to be terrible. Hated it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because I'm sure there are some drag and drop tools that can get you pretty close to like some finished games. But realistically, I feel like drag and drop is designed to get people interested in it and not actually designed to complete a project. And it's a fundamental trap, right?
That's how it was. That's how it was for me.
Hey, speaking of, before we move on of Killing Code, how's Munchie getting on? Like, I know he's sort of gone into computer science. Is he programming? Do you know?
I don't really know that much about it, but he is doing some like web server stuff.
Okay.
With school, I think. I think that's fine to say. Yeah, he's doing some. He's involved with some school server things, and so he's. I couldn't really tell you much more than that. This is what he mentions. It's once in a while.
Well, cool. I'm glad he's still sticking with it.
He is sticking with it. He just started another semester. I think that was his excuse. That was his excuse for not lifting for a while. Was new semester, busy school, school is so hard. I gotta do my sorry I can't lift. I gotta do my homework.
I can't. Ooh.
I have to write an essay for Mrs. Terwilliger's history class.
Mrs.
I gotta
Terwilliger's history class.
Make a little book report on the catch you in the Y.
Yeah, as one does in university.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Okay, next voicemail is called where was it? It's called Boston with an exclamation point. 3, 2, 1, go.
I did it, Ben. I'm in Boston and I took the Green Line.
Yay!
As someone who lives in the suburbs, it was freaking cool. I'm in Boston now. I'm coming for you, Ben.
Oh, wait.
Better hide your butt.
Sounds like a strapping young lad. I'm glad he's
take the B line.
The virtue of public transit.
Take the Beeline Green Line. Beeline Green Line to get to my neighborhood in Alston.
The old BG.
The old BGG BLGL ABDL DDLG what was I talking about? Next voicemail moving on is 4-letter word used to indicate a valid statement. 3, 2, 1. What?
Is it just a gunshot? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I think the word they're looking for is true.
True.
Okay, next voicemail is a image. I think. Here, I'll post the link.
Oh, how nice. Lovely.
This is from There Is No You But You're Happy at purplevoid.com. I guess this is a redone Gib with little happy Kirby eyes. Oh, cute.
Very nice.
Next one is called When Will They Notice? 3, 2, 1, go.
Ben, Krak, Munchie, when is the Yum Corporation gonna advertise Endless War? You literally have 3 of their main restaurants in your game. Just imagine, Slime Team Baja Blast, and every Pizza Hut box has a link to the server.
Yeah, we gotta leverage that Yum Brands connection.
I mean, by putting Yum Brands in the game and featuring them so prominently, I think we've become effectively board member shareholders. I think that grants us some level of intellectual property ownership.
I believe so.
That's.
I agree.
I believe that's. Yeah. I think that's how it should work, and I'm going to operate as though it is.
Man, did you you remember when Star Wars Episode 1 came out 1,000 years ago, right?
Sure, I must have been fucking
a child. Must have been
5,
a child.
Maybe 10, 5 or 10, somewhere around
probably
there.
Closer to 5. I don't know.
Okay,
you're older than me. I don't know how old you were, but anyway.
Right.
KFC had this great tie-in with like these little like pogs of Star Wars, like
poggers,
little paper things, and it was this whole thing. Anyway, we got to do that. We got to do that, but slime.
You got to make pogs.
We got to make slime pogs for a KFC.
Why? You should be able to play pogs in the slime casino.
I agree. I don't know what.
You should.
I don't know why it's missing.
You should actually. Someone should actually put pogs.
I'll tell Stottle to just do that.
Tell Stottle to please add pogs. Honestly, it's a perfect fit. Slime pog. We've got the slime pog emoji. And brand tie-ins. You know, and when you're playing pogs, right? You have your KFC pogs beat your Taco Bell pogs, and your Taco Bell pogs beat your Pizza Hut pogs, and your Pizza Hut pogs beat your KFC pogs. You know, it's a meta. You know,
there is that KFC near you guys. What if you were to engage in a campaign of, say, targeted harassment, wherein you just continually add stickers, graffiti, posters to just paint that KFC green?
Harassing a local business. What about this? What about harassment? But we target it, right? We're targeted with it, right? We don't just do it willy nilly.
It's not so much. I misspoke. It's not a targeted harassment. That sounds illegal. It's more of a focused engagement.
Focused, negative, pointedly negative engagement.
That is
with
correct.
an individual or group of individuals. Yeah, I'm down. I'm on board. I see no downsides. Next voicemail is Christian cartoon fan, not otaku, Twilight 4. 3, 2, 1, go.
After destroying anime forever, I watched an American cartoon, Laurel Laurel. This show is a masterpiece. Starts with some edgy jokes about Christians, but pulls a BoJack Horseman halfway through.
What show?
I think that was Moral Oral.
Morel, or yeah. Morel Orel.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit.
I've heard that's good. I think I have seen a little bit of it. Harg's a big fan of that one, I think.
I caught it on Adult Swim once or a few times. Guess I didn't really have a strong opinion about it.
Yeah, it seems fine. I'm not that into it.
Yeah. Sorry, Twilight. I wish I could say more about your favorite show.
I'm sorry, Twilight.
Sorry, Twilight. Looks like you're going back to the glue factory. Next one is an image. Base?
Is this a draw your own graph, or is it suggesting that we have not yet left the cringe plateau?
No, this looks like these are the axes are labeled. Oh, you're supposed to draw a curve, like how based was every era.
Yeah. I think it's draw your own.
Okay, let me all right. Well, let's do this.
Yeah, pop this open up in the GIMP.
Was episode 200, was that Radcon 4? Or Radcon 3?
Oh.
I think episode 200 was at Radcon 3.
Yeah, it would have to be. It was quite a while ago.
Sure. Yeah, here's my answer, I guess. I'm going with it. It's perfect.
Oh, okay. See, I feel like you had to start in the exact middle on the left-hand side, you know, because the podcast could be neither base nor cringe at the start. You just, unless you're saying it's cringe to start a podcast, which I guess I agree with.
You're thinking that like how it started is like the baseline and like.
Well, yeah, and then have you moved more based or more cringe from there? That's how I would draw it. Not that it really matters. I think this is a pretty good representation here. What's the giant valley there? That's probably the most significant thing.
The giant valley. You know, I probably drew it a little too steep. I would say the giant valley. The valley there is post Radcon 4, when we were just shedding people, and we kind of didn't know what to do about it. It recovers from the valley after we just decide after the Tombstone rebrand, we decide like we're just gonna, well, I guess it's the Ben and Gibb show and sometimes Tom now.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I kind of did the same thing. I don't know if my valley's in the right spot, but that was my thinking. I was like, okay, here's the big crash as everyone's leaving, right?
Okay.
And then generously, I've said, oh, it's getting better. And then I don't know. Now I'm on this one, so it's kind of coming down a little bit.
you put the valley at Radcon, like at Radcon 3.
Yeah.
Right? Because episode 200 is at Radcon 3.
Yeah, shortly after that, because that's like, you know, I'm not listening. And then I'm assuming it's getting better while I'm not listening.
And then as soon as you start listening, that's when the dip starts.
It's getting worse again.
Yeah, okay. All right, I respect it. I gave it wibbly wobblies around the episode between 101 102 because like who knows what was going on around then. I assume some weird shit was happening. People were joining, people were leaving. It was a fucked up situation.
Yeah. I like how at no point up until somewhere post episode 201 was the podcast ever really on the base side of the graph.
In hindsight, I genuinely think so. I genuinely look back at some of the people and some of the discussions and shake my head like kind of stupid, kind of dumb. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of embarrassing stuff in the back catalog. No question.
No doubt, and that's recorded in my curve here. Yeah, there you go. That one in right in the middle of 101 to 102, when that one little blob it spikes up. That was Jeff's brief appearance. A bright spot in the dark.
Glad to see
country.
Him back in the documentary. You know, it's good to have more Jeff content.
Good, more Jeff. I'm hungry for Jeff content. I don't know where to find it. I've been waiting for more Jeff. He's my favorite PCP character. I've been waiting to see him again, and then he makes his glorious return.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that he hasn't been like producing anything in the meantime.
he just fell off. He just fell
Totally
off the
fell
map
off. Low key
as
kind
far
of
as
fell off.
as far as I'm aware. He low key kind of fell off an L in ratio.
Yeah.
I think we might have talked about this last episode, but I didn't really talk to him like at all. I
mean,
maybe,
what would you say to him?
I think I'm not sure if we talked about this on the commentary or was it last episode, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was just there to talk to Digibro because they were like, oh, we're YouTubers, we're anime YouTubers, we're here to
I think
collaborate.
You definitely did hit on that on the on the podcast,
and I can't really begrudge him that.
It makes sense. It makes sense why he would like want to be involved in the PCP and why he was there, but like then very swiftly outgrew the necessity of that connection.
pretty much,
and probably the horror of the event was like, all right, I'm a head out.
Whatever. I mean, I remember us having a good time. I remember him seeming to have a good time. We all got hyped together for Mad Bull and all that. You know, good times were had. CC has posted okay. I think I can guess what's going on with this graph here.
Yeah, I think this is a graph of all the time Simsy was on the podcast.
I think so. We got to get that boy on here more often.
Yeah, for sure.
What a lad. All right, next voicemail. Oh, did I skip one? Okay, no, I posted this one here. This one is called GPU versus CPU. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, this is just a quick voicemail. I want to differentiate between a CPU and a GPU for you real quick. A GPU isn't just a CPU that is dedicated to processing. A lot of design goes into the architecture to make sure that those processors are able to do the mathematical operations that we commonly use in graphics processing faster. So there is a bit of a difference between the two. The GPU is optimized for those mathematical operations. CPU is kind of more general use.
Yeah, and when old Gamers Tavern was saying they're like fundamentally the same, that was that's a strange comment to me when he said that.
Really?
But like I feel really the big difference is like your CPU, right? You've got these like a handful of beefy cores, and on your GPU, it's like many cores that just are hyper focused on specific things. And
cores,
like CPU cores, like processing units.
Okay.
Like your normal desktop CPU will have like 4 or 8, maybe
quad
16.
core.
Yeah, you'll have some number like that. But in a video card, you'll have maybe 100 or something. A big number.
What did you make of because this was about that crypto guy, that crypto voicemailer said that certain cryptos are like mined in a GPU. They're like mined on the GPU instead of the CPU.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. So because of the design of some of GPUs, because of that design, they're like good at very specific types of hashing operations. They can do certain instructions that allow them to hash things quickly, and so depending on the design of your crypto, like that could be a faster way to mine it. And that's why GPU mining is so big, because they use these GPUs that do this very specific type of operation very fast. That you can't do it fast on a CPU. But there are other cryptos that like do things that CPUs do well, So it's just like however you want to do it.
All right.
But
sounds reasonable.
It's all pretty cringe. Don't mind crypto. Don't
I don't know. I was coming around. I was coming around on this. If it's GPU based, then I mean. Well, this changes everything. Next voicemail is called GPU versus CPU Volume 2. Can you believe it? 3, 2, 1, go.
And I just realized I should add the context that the reason that GPUs are loved by bit miners so specifically is because it turns out a lot of the mathematics involved with graphics rendering happens to also be really useful for Bitcoin mining.
This is what you said.
So,
yeah,
that's why they're coveted.
Okay.
And why, CPUs aren't equally as coveted for this specific use space.
Yeah, and I mean, just
All right.
just the one further bit of clarity. I think what's going on is like you're trying to guess the result. Like you have a result. And you're trying to guess the sequence of like cryptographic hashing that would result in that result. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so the GPU is just optimized to do that specific math really quickly, and so you can make a lot of guesses. Versus on a CPU where you couldn't make as many guesses as fast, so it would take like exponentially longer.
Oh, okay, because each different core can be like guessing independently.
Yeah,
something,
and then
something like that.
and like down to the hardware level, the processing core is just arranged in such a way that it can do this type of math quickly. This mathematical operation, whatever it is.
Sure, I think I more or less get it. Next voicemail is called Read the Foundation series. Okay, I'm done. Please don't berate me. 3, 2, 1, go.
Gibbs right here. You can't just kill Hitler. That's not going to work. What you have to do is print a whole bunch of currency that's right for the time period, and then distribute it in a way that using psychohistory, you can analyze how the society will interact, and then prevent World War II. Like, these are large societal movements with lots of people.
Okay.
Killing one person won't necessarily get rid of that.
True, I guess.
True, but I don't know.
I mean, if you look in the modern era, like if you just prevent Donald Trump from existing, do we stop the rise of fascism in America? Probably not.
Probably not. I do think, I think that probably fascism would have come into vogue with or without Hitler. But, I mean, the specific ways that, like, World War II shook out, like, Hitler was a very idiosyncratic guy. And he made decisions, right? He made executive level decisions that had impacts on
It does
stuff.
seem like, replace him with almost anybody and the situation would be better. Right? Like, the man himself is definitely a net negative.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone else would have been more competent at accomplishing similar goals. Possibly. Maybe you could have a someone who's more effective at doing the same stuff.
Yeah, like maybe somebody else wouldn't have gotten involved in a war in Russia, for example.
Right. Something like that.
It's not like the rest of Western Europe and America wouldn't tolerate terrible treatment of specific cultural or ethnic groups. Like, clearly that's just part of the culture over here. So maybe he would have gotten away with it.
Yeah. There's that Henry Kissinger book that I still occasionally read.
Famously, you cracked that book open.
Cracked that book on the toilet, right? Because I don't know how to read properly, according to Jim or whoever from Who Are These Podcasts. There's a what am I trying to say? Were we talking about Hitler? Fuck, what point was I gonna make?
I don't know. Ethnic cleansing, war crimes.
I don't know.
I don't know where you were going with it.
I don't know. He describes Hitler's like strategy. He had a very conniving sort of like, he used like cultural guilt in the aftermath of like the Treaty of Versailles and like World War I, and he sort of did this whole shtick where he sort of pretended to be like an underdog who just wanted, I just wanna restore Germany. You guys were so mean to us before. We just want what everybody else has. And then as soon. The international, like the international public opinion was like, give Germany a chance. Like, they're just, come on, we've been so.
Haven't they suffered enough?
And then as soon as he got as far as he could get with that, he just suddenly like flipped the script and was like, okay, we're on the offense. Okay, we're going. Get Poland, get Switzerland, get it. And everyone, and like immediately the world was like, oh, okay, this, shit, fuck, damn.
Jeez.
Oh boy. Boy is our face red.
Yeah.
Yeah. But probably other people would have maybe played it similarly. Because we can't argue with results. Next,
but just to on the point of their title, I've always been interested in maybe reading like the old Asimov stuff, like Foundations, the Isaac Asimov series. Right?
Asimov. I've read a few of them.
I've read some of his shorts, but I've never read Foundation. I just wonder if it's still good. I wonder if it holds up.
Is it a novel?
I think it's a quite significant series.
Oh. Yeah, I've read some short stories of Asimov's, and that's about it.
Yeah, I was sort of scared off because it looked like it was a lot to read, and I'm a busy little guy.
I think I should get more into reading books. I've said this before. I think I wish I was more into reading books. I just don't know what books I want to read. I would like to be more awash in interest in ideas and people's good ideas from the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To be ensconced in valuable thoughts.
Someone recommended I read Foucault. And I was like, a lot of people whose opinions I like online reference Foucault. So maybe I should read some Foucault. I don't know. Next voicemail is called Rants, More Like Cants. 3, 2, 1, go.
You guys were talking about Trixie and the rants and stuff, and it made me remember something. On Patreon, you can limit the number of people who can, subscribe to a tier.
Yeah.
So that means, one of two things. Either one, Trixie just didn't do that and let rants pile up, because I remember them being, months behind at times.
Yeah. I mean, why would you expect her to plan it out and have a real rational idea of how much she could do?
Be done, which is stupid. Thinking you can do infinite rants. Or two, they put a limit on it and then still couldn't keep up with the limit that they set for themselves, even with an entire month to do it.
Yeah, I guarantee that.
I thought about that.
What it is she just thought that rants are easy. I can do unlimited number of rants. I could do a rant so easily, it doesn't even matter, it takes no time. So there was no limit on the number of rants. And then she just didn't do them.
For sure. Right? For sure. Yeah, of course. I agree. There's no... I cannot imagine her, looking at that option and being I think I could probably... I think there's a limit on how much of this I can do, and I'm gonna set the limit right here. I'm gonna be I'm gonna moderate this. It's just not.
It would be very out of character.
It would be out of character. So it's definitely the former. Next one is called Half a Wave Dash. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, wave dashing. There's this great video by a dude called Awesome Sauce, ASUMSAUS, and it's just a quirk of the game's physics engine that was discovered even during development. Sakurai had noticed it, and mentioned it in some Smash forum back in the day. And basically nobody knew that it would kind of just take off and become the way it is. So Melee's just big giant mess of weird jank, but I guess that's kind of what makes it so fucked up and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I know about Melee. I know it'd be like that. Next one is an image called...
Just to stop for a second. I just hate that nobody will explain what wave dashing is. All it is, I think, is you jump and then you dash down into the ground while you're in the air, causing you to slide on the ground, right? And you just keep doing that. Why will nobody just say that that's what it is?
It's a mobility option.
Yeah. So instead of using your little air glide thing to move laterally, you can push it down and then you slide, and it lets you do it again immediately. That's
so it's a fast way to move.
Yeah. So you can do that. You do these little hops and you slam into the ground. It makes a little wave shape and you dash across the ground. Like that's a. Why is nobody saying it? Why is it like, Sakurai discovered this secret? It's like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be like that. You just say what it is.
Yeah.
There's so much mysticism built up around it for no reason.
I think you're right. Well, now, I guess I didn't. That's not exactly what I was picturing, but sure, okay. This picture is Thai PCP. Forget this stinking podcast. The Thai PCP is where it's at. Is that
looks delicious?
Thai?
It looks delicious. I think so.
Is that? Oh, it's like barbecue. Oh yeah. Is that a gun?
He's gotta get dinner. Man, he's on he's on a cool rug. He's out there, out there in a wood. Looks good.
Wait. I watched this past week. I watched a bunch of videos from that guy. You know Nick Robinson. You ever heard of him?
I knew a guy in high school named Nick Robinson, but I don't know if it's the same guy. Probably not.
Nick Robinson, he's sort of like a lost media YouTube guy. He did he saved the lost McDonald's training video game on the Nintendo DS.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. I watched a video of him okay, he had done one about a sort of famously weird commercial for a collaboration between Pizza Hut and Domino's Pizza and Hatsune Miku in Japan.
Okay.
And I had seen that video a long time ago, and then recently I watched one where he met the guy who was in that commercial. The guy who turned out to be he was like the CEO of he was like the Japanese, he was an American guy, but he was the CEO of like Domino's Japan. And he has a whole here's the video. I'll just link it. He interviews him, and there turns out there's a whole history of this guy appearing in he was in Chinese and I think Thai or maybe Vietnamese pizza commercials. Okay.
He's like the he's the Asian pizza commercial man.
Yeah, he used to have a mustache, and he says in the interview that there was a time when I was the single most recognized Westerner in Vietnam.
That's so funny.
I couldn't walk down the streets of Vietnam without people being like, "Oh, Pizza Hut guy,
Pizza Hut." That's so great.
I forget what the slogan was. They had some slogan in Vietnamese, and he says they would yell that slogan at me on the street. I had to shave my mustache because so people wouldn't recognize me or something.
Hey, it's good to be king.
It was a heartwarming story.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it was great. He's got a quest to find this guy, and then the guy's son reaches out through Instagram to be like, "Oh yeah, that guy's my dad. I can do you want me to introduce you? I watch your YouTube channel. I can try to get him to talk to you if you want." And then they do. Charming. Okay, next voicemail. I was seeing a food commercial in an Asian language just reminded me of that. Next one is called News. Oh, great. News from Wong Chan. It's only 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Next week, very big news.
Okay.
Oh, next week. Coming up.
Can't wait. Yeah. All right. Next one is called Ben Finally Owns Someone. Listen to find out who? Listen to find out whom. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. I think I see tweets from Asterios every now and then. A lot of what I see is just kind of passive-aggressive, look at this new, really stupid thing Maddox is doing. What an idiot. He's just embarrassing himself. That is funny, but it does start to be it's sort of been the same story for a year and a half now?
I just feel like I like Dick. Okay.
These are old clips.
That is an old clip. Good to
Damn.
hear everybody on good terms back then. The good old days.
Damn. I mean, and damn, here we are, years later, and it's still Dick is still doing the same stupid shit.
Is he?
He's still milking it anytime Maddox does anything. He's like, we got to do an episode about it.
I feel like Maddox completely fell off online, but maybe I'm just not paying attention.
When you say fell off, you mean like he disappeared, or like
I thought
he
so.
sucks
Is he
now?
like online? Is he doing
is?
shit?
Yeah, he makes YouTube videos still, or at least
Jesus.
I mean, I might be out of date. I know as of a few, like post Dick show, he was still making YouTube videos. I think he streams now. Like I think I've seen Dick making fun of his streamer shtick before.
Okay. Yeah, I see he posted a video last month. I took a child development test and the results won't shock you. He got an A+ and a child got an F in the thumbnail. Cool, man. I'm glad you developed.
Amazing. I love
Astounding results. Good for Maddox. Glad he's doing whatever he's doing. But actually, fuck him. I hate these guys.
he's doing something.
He sure is.
So,
and hey, he's getting more views than Yig Studio, so he's got that going for him.
So something. hey, someone, another dunk, another slam dunk. Next voicemail is a YouTube link.
Oh, okay.
To saying goodbye. What a wonderful world. Why? It's just it's a guy playing that one. Who's the? I see trees of green.
Yeah, Woody Guthrie. No,
I don't think that's right.
That's not right.
No, you're thinking of Woody Allen.
No, I'm thinking of Lou Reed. That's a Lou Reed song.
Is it? Yeah, that's right.
That's correct.
I was gonna say Lou Bega. It's not Lou. It's not Lou Bega for sure. A little bit of Monica in my life. Okay, terrible. Next one is called. It's called Fuck Trixie. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I watched the thing, the documentary thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I haven't listened to the commentary track yet.
Yeah, it's good.
How bad was the house? Like, how fucking gross were y'all?
The house was fine.
I need to know. I need to shame fucking little man children in the past.
You can see it. You can see how it is, and draw your own conclusions from that.
We actually Gib does mention in the commentary the kitchen did get kind of gross at some point. Like people were leaving their like takeout, bags and like food containers out. The kitchen did get kind of dirty and gross for a bit. Other than that, it was fine. It was a nice house. Yeah. Next voicemail is called Bob Disgaea for Voice Grail for Bravery. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is a controversial opinion, but I want it to be known. Colin Funny Man, better than Kringus Bingus.
Is this the same guy as the last voicemail?
Hard, maybe, possibly. I could see the argument. Yeah, I wouldn't take offense if you like Kyle and Funny Man better than Kringus Bingus. I think that's valid. If each got their charms, comes down to what you want out of a voicemail, I guess. Next voicemail is called 300 Hype. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, comrades. Nikolai congratulate you on 300 episodes.
Thank you.
Nikolai congratulate by sending vodka. However, Nikolai need credit card number, home address, and any social insurance number.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, comrades.
Please use my... Oh, no, sorry. I can't give you my credit card number because I finished churning my American Express Blue Business Cash. So as soon as I get my U.S. Bank business credit You can have that, and we can start the process.
Yeah, Nikolai, if you could just wait one moment for Ben to get the new credit card. We got to get the maximum churn here.
Yeah, if I'm not churning, then I'm just leaving money on the table.
We need those benefits. We need that cash back.
It's money on the table, and when there's money on the table, you gotta grab it.
I mean,
and hold on
for
for
example,
dear life.
$16 were to show up in your Patreon and your PayPal. You can't return that. You need to hold on to that money.
So that $16 turned out to have come from Bob Disgaea.
Oh, that's funny.
He gave me permission. He did send it for a reason. I forget what the reason was, but it's okay. The conditions were met. Next one is called B. 3, 2, 1, go.
Do you hate Trixie because she changed or because your perspective on her changed?
No, I think, Trixie just fell off.
I think Trixie did fall off.
I think she's been bad since she switched to anime, to tell you the truth. It was a funny goof in the Pony days. Not that like the content was good, but it was a funny goof. And like the sort of genuine, sincere transition to like analyzing anime is where it just falls apart for me.
You know what? I get that. That makes sense. I think... I mean, I don't like her because of the way she treated me. So, I mean, like, that's the difference. Like, she always had faults. I think she's worse now. I think she's become worse. But mostly it's just that she changed from being, mostly a friend to being terrible to me personally. And that's what it comes down to. I think that's pretty valid. Yeah. That's what it mainly comes down to for me. Next one is Gibbs Pick. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Give and Take. What is your profile picture? Is it a self-portrait? Is it a drawing of something else? Is it just a random person? What's the deal? What is it? It looks really aesthetically pleasing to my big blue eye, but what is it? We need to know. Please tell us now.
I think it's pretty clearly a self-portrait.
Which profile picture?
I'm assuming the one on the tombstone, so like the purple and green one, like the one that the guy redrew earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that would make sense. What else would it be?
I think it's a self-portrait. Dog. We got like how many more we got? We got 4 more.
Oh, is that all? I could do 100 more. Let's go.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this garbage. Next one is called Help. 3, 2, 1, go.
God, I can't stop having dreams about the PCP.
Oh, poor guy. Sorry.
I have never. I'm trying to think if I've ever had a dream about like someone whose like content I like listen to online. Maybe. I could believe that maybe at some point I had a dream that in some form or another featured Gabe and Tycho from Penny Arcade. But I don't remember any like vivid ones that I was like, I don't know, I feel like if it was anyone, it would probably be those guys, if anyone. But nothing jumps to mind.
This is slightly unrelated, but is there anything that you do that you feel like makes you dream reliably or more often?
Yes. Well, I'm not really on a regular schedule. Sometimes my sleep schedule gets fucked up, and when I sleep in the day and when it's light, I can have very vivid dreams when I'm doing that.
Okay, that makes sense. Because you're probably not sleeping as deeply. Probably it makes sense.
Probably, yeah. Sleeping during the day or when it's light in the room, it makes me dream vividly.
I think kind of the same root thing, but I find if I like drink a can of Monster shortly before bed, if I get a lot of caffeine, I dream more. I dream more vividly. It helps me sleep faster, I'm all amped up.
I don't really notice that. honestly, I drink caffeine willy-nilly, and sometimes I don't even like. I usually try to stop drinking caffeine like a few hours before bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just am like, whatever. Oops, I drank caffeine. Well, I gotta go to bed. And usually it doesn't really have a problem for me or affect much.
Yeah, it doesn't
I don't
really keep me
notice
up
it.
for sure. But I do notice that I tend to dream more.
I haven't noticed that. But I could, again, I could see that it, like, interrupting your sleep depth, your REM cycles or whatever, would make sense in my imagination.
So anyway, to the voicemailer, don't drink a monster before bed. Sleep at night if you can.
Yeah.
Try to keep those dreams away.
Take some melatonin.
Yeah.
I take melatonin.
Try
now.
chloroform, perhaps.
No more of those pesky PCP dreams.
Anything to stop the horror.
Next one is called Oblivion Fall. 3, 2, 1, go.
How do we know his name isn't Oblivion Thal?
What?
Okay. Well, cool. I don't know.
That is his name. What? I don't understand. I mean, like the season? What if the fall means the season and not like when you go from a high place to a low place? Bwah! Oh, fuck. Next one is called Slime Times Weekend Update number 2.
Ooh, looking forward to it.
Yeah, from Prince Isolation. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tally-ho again, one and all. Welcome to the second installment of the Slime Times Weekend Update. This week was the week of Valentine's Day, and right on cue I've come to you with some lovey-dovey news. The Stay-Dead, known as Duckhead, and the killer Violet have gotten married at Slime's End Cliffs.
Aww.
In response to the union, Rowdy Liam and Killer Dog went on to get divorced in the same location that fine day. After filing the paperwork, Liam attempted to push Killer Dog off the cliff and into the sea, but her big bones made her too heavy to even budge.
Oh,
Liam
classic.
called her a fat bitch, upon which Killer Dog threw him off the edge, killing him. She finally capped off the event by committing suicide, jumping into the slimy abyss herself. It goes to show that in Neo-Milwaukee, love doesn't come without its sharper edges. We hope to see you next time, and remember, the slime time is the best time.
It's a fine day for a green wedding.
Woo! That's great. Glad Prince doing that. I feel like, if I could offer a note, I feel like there was a better pun there about that unfortunate turn for old Killer Dog and Liam. But we'll never know.
A better pun?
I don't know. I mean, going on with like the love as its sharper edges or whatever it was. I don't know. They're all on these cliffs and stuff. I'm sure there was something else. I feel
maybe
like there was something good there.
There's love is blind, just like when you fall off a cliff. No.
They say love is blind, love is deaf, fall off a cliff to your death, All
right, we'll workshop it. There's also the last voicemail is Slime Times Addendum. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Incidentally, Ben Saint asked me last week whether or not I am aware that there used to be a genuine paper titled The Slime Times. I am well aware. However, these days people no longer really like to read, especially off of paper surfaces.
Yeah,
and the director of the paper mill committed a grisly suicide and now lives in the sewers as a stay-dead. So I decided to take over the matter and present these things in a new medium that is sure to be hip and cool. Radio.
Old time radio.
Thank you, Prince.
Thank you. I got okay. Listen to this. I got some slime news. I got some Slime Times news myself. I don't know what to do about this. I feel like this is fine to talk about. Marinpan sent me. This was 2 days ago, and I have not responded because I don't really know what to make of it. Marinpan sent me a document with a few written statements regarding the arrest of killer Ungen, because apparently Ungen was botting, and this was...
Yeah, I am loosely aware of that situation.
I sort of didn't really read the details, but I guess people were upset about some botting shenanigans that Ungen was playing, and they arrested Ungen. And I guess
not botting, alting, I think.
Alting, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
alting,
there was
different.
so Ungen had an alt Splatcat that was in the Rowdies, and they think that Splatcat was a spy and allowed Ungen to make some big kills, and people are real upset about it. That's the situation. I thought it would be fine to just like, okay, well, it was funny. We'll ban Splatcat. Splatcat's gone. And Ungen was sphered or put in jail for like a week. But, but the people want more. They want blood.
They want blood. They're coming to Pontius Pilate. Like, oh, the flogging. Oh, the 39 lashes are not enough to keep you vultures happy. I shall flog him. No.
Well, it was funny because
Caesar,
initially
you have a duty, crucify him.
Yes. Initially,
crucify him.
Ungen was jailed for just 3 days, and everyone said, "No, that's not nearly enough. We've jailed Frog for a month for such crimes. It's got to be at least a week." They put him in jail for a week, and now it's like, not enough. We need more.
Yeah. Marin sent me a document with some written statements by some victims or by some witnesses to the crime. I think he wanted me to like I don't know. I think he wanted me to like weigh in and like say what I think should happen, but I kind of feel like the people who are more active in the game should be the ones that have an opinion about that. Like, I don't know. Whatever they feel is appropriate.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like just a week or two in jail was fine, but people are upset, so I don't know. I don't know how to rectify that.
Community service.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we have not the channel community service.
Yeah,
like
understood.
Community service hours, right?
Yeah.
He's got to pick up trash in the coastline. That was the last voicemail.
Whew.
We're done. Nightmare is over.
I know I said I could do 100 more, but I was lying. I'm glad it's over.
I know. That's okay. I know. Nobody likes voicemails. We're here out of obligation.
A sacred duty.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts on episode 302 of the Procrastinators podcast, Krak?
Well, I think we got to wrap it up by doing we got to do an intro. We never did the intro. So
wait, before we end with an intro, I want to say thanks for joining me today and preventing the nightmare that would have been another solo Ben cast. You came in the last minute. Last minute, I was like, please, someone save
anybody.
me. And
I'll take anyone. Please don't let this happen.
I was thrilled. I was thrilled that instead of some refuse, instead of some ragtag ragamuffin, it was my friend Krak that wanted to join me. Yeah.
Well, it's been nice. Glad I could hang out. Thanks for putting out the distress beacon.
It was such distress. All right, everyone. What's up? This has been the Procrastinators podcast. Slash the like button, smash the bell, ring the bell. Patreon.com/the Procrastinators, Patreon.com/Ben Saint. Listen to the bonus commentary documentary. Leave a comment down below. What would you leave a voicemail about if you were stupid enough to leave a voicemail? Let us know in the comments down below.
Right, please. Let us know in the comments. Do not actually leave the voicemail.
No, please. It's better for engagement if you just type out your stupid voicemail instead of writing it, instead of speaking it. Yeah, all right. That's gonna do it. Good. Bye.
Bye.